Ooh, what is a theoretical welcome? The reason it's a theoretical welcome is because I don't know if it is doing. I think it's doing. I just need to figure out some bits and pieces because we forgot that a lot of these. My drink's in the way of the screen. Excellent. So I think that one went there. I might regret all of these decisions, but for now, we'll do that. I don't think that one changed. That one shouldn't have anything. Excellent. Right. There'll be a slight echo in a moment because I am just double checking. Is there a slight echo? Is there a slight echo? Yes, I think there is. 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 Sorry, I'm just. Yes, I think there is. Yes, I think there is. I'm just pissing about myself now. Good afternoon, Tinasaura. Welcome to what is going to be a bit of Blender to start with. And then possibly into board games if there is interest in board games a little later on. Anyway, let us check. Oh, I was supposed to push that button. There we go, I've now pushed that button. Excellent. Right, that button's been pushed, so we can get rid of that. Some advice said before, going to the movies with Grandpa. Ooh, what movie are you watching? I must admit, I don't know. None stand out at the moment, as far as I'm aware. Murder on the Nile. I'm assuming it's a murder mystery of some kind. Oh, yes. Oh, interesting. Oh, yes, it is. It is Hercule Poirot. Hello, I am Hercule Poirot. I have done things, lots of things. I am Hercule Poirot. I do many things. Little grey cells and all of that jazz. So it's a young Hercule Poirot. Yes. It's the sequel to Murder on the Orient Express. Oh, cool. I didn't know that was out. I don't think I'm assuming by sequel. Oh yeah, by sequel. Oh, that's just noise. Which in fairness is fairly standard practice. But yeah. Ooh. I have to have a look out for them. I imagine at least the first one might be available in the not too distant future on free doings. But yeah, it'd be quite nice. I do like a murder mystery. I am a bit of a sucker for a murder mystery. Anyway, right, we shouldn't need that open, so we can close that. Excellent. I don't think anything's exploded yet. Cool. And now we go back up into here for the blenderings. I must admit, yeah, well, no, that should be the same chat. Yeah, because that's not. Yeah, that's not procking off of anything. Looks a bit dull. The chat box looks a bit dull, but I suppose in fairness, it's not one of my sort of fully custom chat boxes. But it's I don't know. Everything looks a little bit off, despite logically not able to be a bit off, because that's controlled by somewhere completely different. That's nothing to do with the computer. That's somewhere way off. I'm assuming Gal Gadot, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's Gal Gadot. Might be wrong. But that I'm fairly certain that's the woman who was playing Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman! I did quite enjoy both of those films. The first one I think was better than the second one, but the second one was nonetheless rather nice as well. I quite enjoyed it. Right, so we are basically fiddling with armour. Now, I made the executive decision that I wanted that to be a gap. I want that to be a gap, but I think this bit not so much. Because, yeah, that looks like a gap. If we hide that temporarily, yeah, you can see that looks a bit more like a gap, whereas that does not look like it's got a gap in it, so I think we'll go with that. It was the first time we got to see Cheetah in a bit live. That's true as well, yes. And that was quite an interesting character. I quite enjoyed that one. Right, so let's have a look here. What do we want to do? what do we want to do? I don't know. Probably just the standard practice. Aha! I've grabbed the wrong points. Excellent. Yes, we don't want that point over there. Go away. Have we got any more? Yeah, no, we've got another stray point there. Alright, cool. Okay, so now we should just have... There we go. Ignore the W. If anybody does end up looking at the whole... Oh, that's what the W did. Of course, that's what the W did. There we go. But yeah, that W, that first W was not an intended W. It's just I've got fat fingers and I wanted to push E. Do enjoy the concept of the monkey's paw as wishes have that backlash to them. Yes! Yeah, I did quite enjoy it. I've only watched it once, so I'll have to watch it again to try and get things firmer in my brain. But yeah. And who was it? It's the same fellow who plays the Mandalorian, isn't it? Who was the villain in that? Or, see, I suppose that's the interesting thing with that film, wasn't it? Was he really a villain? Not quite as much as previously advertised. Or not as much as potential, but also quite villainous, in fairness. I can't remember if he did actually manage to... Yeah, I think he did redeem himself towards the end, didn't he? But we can't... Whoops. What was that? And why did it move? I don't know. But if we undo it... Oh, I see what that was. I keep collecting points I don't want to collect. Again, why are you so... You shouldn't really be quite so generous in picking out different things. Didn't want to be without his son in the end. That was it. Yes, I remember now. Right, let's... No, I think we'll do 4. I was going to say we might be able to get away with 3, and arguably there's a distinct argument that says we might have been able to get away with 3, but we'll go sort of up there. Up there. Is this the way I want to do this? I don't know. Yeah. Would it be easier to do it a different way? No, I think I'll stick to this method. I mean, there's no... This is the thing with Blender. There's no really sort of definitively right and definitively wrong method. It's just... It often boils down to how swiftly you can do all of these tasks. So dependent on how you do them, I must admit that's going to be slightly confusing. I don't know. Does it counter? Can it count that or something? I don't know. It's one of those. Unless maybe show last operator. Not sure. But yeah, the fact that I managed to sort of have it end up saying I pressed G 6 times. That's not strictly speaking accurate, but it doesn't matter that much, I'm sure. I wouldn't recommend learning Blender from anything I'm doing here. So if you were planning on going through Blender, I would highly recommend a professional. I have to remember how to turn those off. Which is slightly awkward because I know where to turn those off, but I don't have the program anymore. Which is going to make that very difficult. Well, here's a warning for people. This is going to happen. That's going to happen. Okay, there's nothing set on that one. Okay, so I think it's just going to be... That's going to happen a fair amount. And I've got to try and remember how the fuck I turned that off. As I say, I fear the program I'm missing that needs to be found somehow, I don't know how, is the program that is in charge of that. And yeah, that's slightly awkward. But, oh well, never mind. Even if wishes are good, wishes can always do harm to those you care about. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Like the end, they show the original Wonder Woman. Yes, I remember her making a cameo of some kind. I can't remember exactly what they did with that, but I do remember her sort of popping up. Oh, I suppose the key question is it working?
Hello there,
General Blue Boosh. And yes, I am mostly back in action-ish, maybe. There's a few key bits and pieces that are missing. As previously discussed, you're going to get a lot of this. A lot of that. I could do that. Yeah, that's it. Maybe there's a 0. No. Okay. Because I can't find the program. I forgot all about it, to be honest, but I don't know where the program to control those is anymore. So that's gonna be an issue at some point. But I suppose it's not an issue right now, so we're gonna leave it alone. Yeah. But welcome to Sunday afternoon at home, where we are doing Blender with a potential dash of board games if people were interested in board games.
Fire the sincerity cannon. All power banks before sincerity.
Moonstone cannon.
Scream baby
bear. 2-hour movie in theatres an hour away. Oh! About RPM. I'm assuming that was supposed to be 4 p.m? Which means you're not English time, perhaps. But I'm guessing 4 or 5 p.m. I guess that because it's the closest to R. But yes, enjoy the film. I will have to look out and see if I can find the newer interpretation of Murder on the Orient Express. We established it earlier, and my brain already forgot because my brain is a horrendous piece of turd. Yes, I did see you were streaming. I think it might have been Friday. Gotta get it in Friday. But I think I was in the midst of figuring out the reset of my computer, so I wasn't in a good mood. Let's put it that way. Available for board games? Well, we shall see. Ideally, we would need a third compatriot. Technically, there are several board games that can be done with 2 people, but I think a lot of them tend to sort of just function a little bit better with 3 people. I think they're a bit more sort of interesting and unique. I think you get a bit more sort of alternate turns and stuff. I don't know. I'm probably talking out my arse, but I think 3 people is optimal, which is always a problem because it's like wrangling cats. And in fact, I would put forth. People often suggest the idea. I thought I'd done it completely wrong for a moment, and I'd forgot the snap tools, but the snap tools were built into the file. If you save it while your snap tools are on, when you load the file, your snap tools will still be on, which is highly beneficial on this occasion. Oh, could you? There we go. But theoretically, you can now also see what I'm clicking, because I got the screencast tools up, which was a mission and a half, it seems. I don't know precisely why they decided to make it quite such a mission, but yeah, the universe decided that it needed to be an absolute fucking chore to get those installed on this occasion. Last time round, I looked at it, I thought, hey, that's nice. I've got them sorted out. Absolutely delightful. And this second time round, I tried to get them installed, Blasted things were like, no. Could you just install this, please? No. Are you sure? No. Which, I mean, is fairly typical of many programs. There are many programs out there that go, no, every time you ask them to do something nicely. You just say, hello, would you mind? No. I see. Is there any possible... No. I think I've been put in my place by this program. It point blank refuses to do the things, which is terribly disappointing. Terribly disappointing for me and for you and for everyone involved. Also, I didn't really fully... All power banks to full sincerity make that stream baby burp. I see. I missed the tail end of it. I caught the beginning, and of course the volume is sort of there, and kind of the volume of the video takes over from the volume of the speech, text to speech a lot of the time, which I suppose I should possibly do something about that. But then again, I think really if you subscribe, it should wake me up, and the beginning of that video definitely manages to do that, because it is quite loud. I'm not going to say it's terrible geometry, but it's not... I wouldn't say it was good geometry at the moment. It's a little bit... actually, no. Looking back... Yeah, actually, looking back, it's not as bad as I thought it was. I thought it was absolutely dreadful. But how are everybody? How are you, Mr. Blue Boosh? And possibly how are you, Tina Sora, if you have not left for the video. If you've left for video, I suppose it's not technically a video, is it? They don't just slap a video in cinema. They do it a bit more complicated than that. But yeah, how are you? And well, obviously, Tina, we know what you're up to. You're watching a film. But anybody else? Oh, hello! North Ender 2! Welcome! I was chuckling at your stream title. It reminded me of the town where I went to high school. Oh, dear God. Okay, it's not quite as bad as I thought. I'll continue reading. I've sort of skimmed and seen where we were going with that. The main highway out of town, there was a prominent red barn, and they had painted the Art Barn on the side in giant white letters. They sold paintings and such. Once or twice a year, kids from the high school would take a ladder in the middle of the night and paint a giant F in front of it. Or in front of art, yeah. So for a few days every year, it was the Fart Barn until they'd paint over it. Yeah, that's fantastic. To be honest, what I'd have done, I'd have made sure that each time I had to repaint the sign, I'd make it slightly different for them to be able to manipulate it, just to have a bit of fun. So I'd change it to the Barn of Art, so that they'd have to go, either they'd have to just go, oh, look, it just says the Barn of Fart now. I suppose that'll do. Or they'd have to make some more effort and go, we'll put an F there and an S there. Dave, you get up there, do an S. I'm getting up there and doing an F. Excellent. Yes, the barn farts. And just carry on trying to get them to do more and more each time. And somehow, maybe somehow at some point do that reverse psychology thing, you know, where you suddenly change your argument and they change their argument and get confused and do the opposite. So at some point you overpaint the sign that just says, the farting barn. And they come in and go, oh, look, it says the farting barn. We've got to get rid of the F. Wait, no, oh, no, I've just fixed the sign for the man. Oh, balls. And then they have to live with the fact that they've just fixed his sign instead of manipulated his sign. But yeah, there are some things where clearly these people do not quite think. They don't quite think through their decisions. It's a bit like in the modern era. Obviously, signs still exist, so it's not that far out of the modern era. But in the modern era, it's the hashtag. I'm fairly certain I've seen some hashtags, although none spring immediately to mind. I can't deny. But there have been some hashtags in the past which, when said out loud, are fine. But when viewed in a single string of text, you of course end up with something completely different, which is always quite hilarious. Whoops, that's the wrong things. There you go. That's going to be the most used command in all of this. Whoops. Could you... yeah, control. There we go. Let's double check I haven't selected anything else awkwardly. But yes, anyway, welcome, Mr. Northender. I asked others, so I will ask you as well. How are you? How are your doings and what are your doings? Are you doing well? Are you doing something? Are you doing nothing? It's a Sunday afternoon. You're entitled to do nothing. So don't fear. Never fear saying, I'm doing nothing. Because it's a Sunday afternoon. And you're allowed to have Sundays off. We, at the moment, in case you missed any of the intro spills, we'll go through it again. At the moment, we are doing some Blender. Blender. This is Blender. That's another shortcut you'll see a lot of. Control plus S. It's a fairly universal shortcut for saving. I imagine most people know this. Yes, there you go. You found one of the daft hashtags. Yeah. So I'm assuming when you say that out loud, it's the Mole Station Nursery. It's a station to do with moles, I assume. I don't know, but either way, it's the Mole Station Nursery. And then, of course, when you see it written out as a hashtag, it's the Molestation Nursery, which is fantastic.
Hello there.
Good afternoon, General Can't Sleep. I have fixed my arts hole. I got in touch with a medical professional and they decided to reset my arts hole. And hopefully, at the moment, it is holding steady. But, well, I am a pessimist at heart and therefore I am fully prepared for it to die on its arse immediately. But we shall see. Also... just gonna keep doing that. I didn't even need that viewport at this point. All I needed was to show off the GG. Hey Stream Dead. Hey Stream Son. Stream Son. Get fucking... I told you not to do that, Stream Son. Oh shit! I broke it. Oh no! There we go. Can't do too much. Hashtag anal. Oh, yes! That's an album party, isn't it? Yeah. Do you know what? I genuinely couldn't see an album party for a moment there. All I could see was anal bum party. But yes, that's one of them. That's one of the really good ones. There you go. But yeah. That's one of those fantastic ones. A deep. That doesn't quite work because there's a stray P in there, which, in fairness, you don't want a stray P in your deep anal party or your deep anal bum party. Sorry, but if you could avoid your stray P, I think it's better for all people. You know, really go before you start the anal bum party. Because really, I think it's a bit rude, you know, a bit rude. Anyway, I was discussing what we were doing today, but while I'm about to discuss it, how are you, Mr. Can't Sleep Must Paint? That's me and the multiple string babies. I'm not entirely sure what that is. Oh, okay. Also, I think is it a cocking of a gun? There we go. I cocked the gun and then I exploded the gun. Anyway, now I've also lost where I was. But yeah, I turn that off because, of course, it's all well and good having those attached to control and number pad, but because I use those two a lot with Blender, I need them kind of off again. But as I say, unfortunately, I seem to have lost the program that would turn those on and off, which is a slight issue. But more of an issue is finding how to get that program back again, but still. Because I've looked, and from my understanding, it seems to not exist anymore, which is weird, because, I mean, it should do. It's kind of like, I looked it up, and it's like, can I have this program, guys? It's like, this program does not exist for your machine. But I had it before. This program does not exist for your machine. I definitely had this program before, guys. I really did. It was there, front and center. But yeah, so we'll have to find out and figure out and see what happens with that. It means I also can't change the lights on the machine either, which is slightly disappointing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do quite like my current sort of... I think it was Iron Man. Yeah, it was Iron Man based. I know you can't actually see the lights on my computer, but nonetheless, I've got like light strips on the computer, and theoretically, of course, you can change those colours. And I had a bunch of different little colour setups. I had like an Incredible Hulk one. I had an Astral from Yu-Gi-Oh one. I had a bunch of lovely, all sorts of little bits and pieces. But now I can't actually change the lights because the program seems to have disappeared. Which I don't know about you, but I'd say that was a problem. But arguably, again, I suppose I can technically live with simply having a large volume, just permanently Iron Man, I suppose. But it could have been worse. Could have been something completely different. But it's not worse. It's Iron Man, I suppose. But it's not officially Iron Man, I'd like to point out. It's not like some kind of actual... Oh, you've actually got official Iron Man lights. No. I just made the lights red, yellow for the gold, and there's a blue. The power light is blue for the arc reactor type thing. It's quite nice. Or at least it's not intolerable, let's put it that way. Whoops. Not quite where I wanted that point to be. It's down the side of the sofa covered in fur. There's always a cat, in fairness. Oh no, Jovi. As opposed to oh no melons. I have that problem with my tablet when I'm not when it updates. When my apps update. Tablet is old and doesn't recognise the newer version of the app. Yes. I imagine that is probably the issue I'm finding. But yeah, I don't know. I'll have to try and find out whether I've got a solution somewhere. Somewhere deep in the internet a solution might exist. It usually does eventually, but it's getting... There you go. That's what you get when you encourage it. Whenever you say you're thirsty, you'll immediately get a hydrate. Whenever I say, oh no, melon, I can get people to use their points on my melons. Which in fairness is the only thing you really want in life. So anyway, the general game plan today is I'm going to do a little bit of Blender. I don't know how much is the honest truth. We've got Mr. Blue Boosh is down for some board games. I don't know whether he still is or not. It's obviously all going to depend on the timings. But yes, there is the potential for doing... Oh, he's found his stickers. Who's found their stickers? Blue Boosh has found their stickers. So the stickers are working. Excellent. That's something. Here all afternoon for you. I can be your board game hero, baby. I'm gonna be here all afternoon. So, yeah. Tasty. Very tasty. That was quite quiet. Which is that? That's triggering off of... I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Oh, sound alerts. Oh, control audio via that. Yes, no, there we go. Advanced audio properties. Sound. Shut. No. Sound shut. Shut sound. No, are you sure? Oh. Huh. Well, I suppose we can... yeah, that's sound alerts, that one, isn't it? Yes.
More tingly!
We'll try that. That might be too much now. It might be too much. But don't... I should have put them to free, really. So don't waste too much, too many bits faffing around with those. But yes, it's open to anybody, if anybody fancies a board game. North Ender, I don't know if you fancy a board game. If you have Tabletop Simulator, there is potential for a board game. That goes the same for Mr. Carsley Must Paint. If you fancy a board game and you have Tabletop Simulator, I can provide board gaming hostage on this Sunday afternoon at home. And this is basically exactly the same as what we did last time. Yeah, we'll sort of roughly go around that line there. Won't worry too much. Which is basically sort of, yeah, it's the same thing over and over again. Extrude the doodah. Place the doodah where you feel the doodah should go. And it's mostly just sort of feeling it out and seeing. Select the doodah, pull the doodah out, select your doodah and pull it out. I doubt I'll be able to do plugged in for the duration, I'm afraid. I'll be able to be plugged in for the duration. Oh, I see. I think I see. I don't fully see. But that's fair enough. Not entirely sure if that's going to need extra geometry, but we won't worry about it too much right now. If it does, it does, and we'll put extra geometry in. If it doesn't, it won't make much difference. It'll probably look alright no matter what. Because again, this isn't... It's one of those ones where it's like, yes, I am sort of replicating what this is sort of putting forward as geometry. So what the underlying texture looks like is what I'm sort of applying as geometry. But it doesn't... you know, if you don't make it perfect, it's not going to make any real difference to the overall appearance of the thing, because really you're just adding depth, and that's all the goal is here. But still, my last ventures in Blender encountered the purple after 2 hours of work, so I just gave up. That's fair. I do know what that is, or at least I'm fairly confident I looked up what that is. It's basically two... You've got a back-facing plane and a front-facing plane so close together. I think I did discuss this previously. It's easiest to think of it like tracing paper. If you have a blue piece of tracing paper and a red piece of tracing paper, and you put the two pieces of tracing paper together so close that you can see sort of through the tracing paper, then you would get a purple colour. And that's basically what it's doing. It's going with the idea of trying to sort of put two planes very, very close together, and therefore you're getting the unfortunate purples, because it's showing both the red plane and the blue plane at the same time, and therefore you can only see purple. But this is, unfortunately, this is what it is. This is, I think, in fairness, this is at least 50% or so of 3D modelling. Is the act of going, this point goes here, this point goes there, Especially, this is more retopologizing territory than actual modelling territory, but it is still, you know, I think, to a certain extent, all your favourite video game models at some point probably went through a phase of just fiddling with vertices. Do I want to go straight there, or do I want to put one in the middle? I think straight there is probably fine. Whoopsie doodles, careful. Oh, that's why, because I'm pushing the wrong button. At last. At last. At last. At last. And at last. And now, should really have done this earlier on, I think, but yep. Okay. Not intolerable. And the little sort of kink there is not too bad. A little stretch there. I must admit, there's every possibility I'm going to want to make a wider gap there. Which, I can make them differing thicknesses, but I can't make them differing gaps without going in and actually sort of changing all the things. I think that's what it was. However, it was only happened once I solidified the cape. Ooh. Now, I wonder... Okay. So probably, I'm assuming you're using the solidify modifier. Because if that is the case, then there's two possibilities that spring to mind. Both might be completely wrong, but two possibilities that spring to mind are: one, the solidify was trying to go the solidify was trying its best but failing miserably to get a solid thing, and therefore it was overlapping its geometry in an unfortunate and inconvenient fashion. Not a lot I know how to solve that, truth be told. The other possibility is if that cape is actually two planes back to back originally, and you've put a solidify on there, then it's trying to solidify both of those planes, which is probably pushing the normals out in an awkward fashion. The solution to that would most likely be, well, the easiest solution perhaps, I don't know, but a solution to that perhaps would be to get rid of one of those planes. I realise that I've made that sound a lot easier than it sometimes is, but it is nonetheless sort of, if you can get rid of one of the planes that's causing the extra geometry, that would probably solve the problem. Because with solidify, you only ever really want a single plane. So like with these ones, this is a single plane of geometry facing outwards, I hope, but it doesn't make that much difference here. There you go, facing outwards. They'd be you know, I said it didn't matter. It does matter, but it doesn't in the sense that these would all be facing one way or the other, and because of that, he's got a very stretched, very sort of twisted crotch there, isn't he? Yeah, I might have to go in there, and best bet probably, without changing fundamentals of the pose. Yeah, probably sculpt it a little bit. Just tickle his crotch with the sculpt button at some point, and reduce that sort of twisting. Likewise, I want to tickle his fingers with the sculpt brush as well. Not like proper sculpting, but just sort of a little bit of smoothing, a little bit of everything else. Let's select all four of them and go like that. That was the full stop on the number pad. Basically, it zooms to them and gives you a bit more of a locked around camera. So the camera will lock around. That doesn't really matter too much. How are your models showing in colour? Even the Herc one you sent me, mine are always grey like you're showing now. Most of these models, yeah, difficult to say for certain. So the standard grey is viewport shade. I suppose I need to If I get rid of the overlay there, might be slightly easier to see. This area here, although having said that, the cursor's now gone. Oh, was the cursor never there? Oh no, there's the cursor. I could have sworn the cursor was there. I was just saying. So yeah, you've got these 4 viewports here. You've got wireframe, which I don't... If anybody is able to work through wireframe mode, it has its purposes, I suppose, but to actually sort of work through wireframe, it's like, where's the front, where's the back, and where's the side? I have no idea. It's confusing. That's a bit more easier to work with, of course. But yeah, that's just the grey, which is just solid mode. And then the third one along should be this one, which is material preview mode, which is basically it's showing the material that's on it. And then the final one is render, which at the moment, because I delete all the lights and stuff, obviously it's very dark, but it's designed to be a 3D miniature, so render view makes no odds because it's light. Lights make no difference to anything I'm doing. But I think let's I'll tell you what, we'll go new general and just quickly see what happens if I yeah, I think I want one of those. I wonder if this one did it. Balls. That one's not the right sort of file format. Of course it isn't. I wonder... No. God damn it. I swear I've got one of these. I think I know the issue. I just can't find an example right now, it would seem. I must have one somewhere here, I would think. God damn it. I keep trying to fiddle with my file viewing folder thing. It's very frustrating. I just can't quite decide what mode I want it in. It's very strange having sort of... It's loads of tiny little bits that you've changed over the years, and it's like now realising, oh, they're all gone. I don't know where they are. But yeah, it's bloody awkward. Bloody awkward nuisance. So this one should have it. I just need to find out what sort of file it is. So what are you? What are you? What are you? Don't pause after saying I'm trying to fiddle with my... dear. Hoisted by my own petard. Fubbooks. There we go. So Fubbooks should work. Now I've got a feeling that this one actually does come. Or do you? Ha ha ha! Excellent. So I'm assuming this is the sort of thing you're getting. So in the grey mode you get the grey. In this mode you get the, oh no, this is weird. This is not coloured. One. This is where what you want to do is you want to drop to the model. So, I mean, basically it doesn't matter which bit you choose as long as it's mesh. So I could choose the dagger. I could choose the mesh. This one... Whoops. This one has the hair sort of there. I could do with... Yeah, let's grab that. Or not. Oh, God. No. You're being... There we go. Excellent. Stop being awkward bastard. No. There we go. Less of an awkward bastard now. Excellent. So this one, you can see she's got sort of hair, she's got like body and mask, then sort of face, then hair, then doodah. Oh no, that's all part of that. But the hair and the face are slightly separate. So you'll note why that's sort of you'll note why that's pertinent in a moment. But basically, the solution, unfortunately, this is a little bit behind the chat window, but down in this vicinity here somewhere, there is a little sort of what looks like a sphere with a checkerboard. It is officially called the Material Properties tab. And what you want to do is you want to click on a new... Oh, there we go. Just took its sweet ass time to load. A new material, and then you want to sort of get like this. Now, what happens if I do... All right. You do want to just leave it alone. Easiest way to show it without too much... I'll tell you, I'll do it. I'll do it the way I would usually perhaps do it, but you could probably get away with dropping to the shading tab. Yeah. Yeah. No, alright, the shading tab's probably the easiest way of doing it, actually. Oh, I bet I've lost the Node Wrangler, haven't I? We bet I've lost my Node Wrangler. I know those words may mean nothing to anybody, but there's an extra. Again, this is the issue. It's all the little tiny bits of convenience that you've had over the years, and you've adjusted and stuff, and it's fuck's sake. Anyway, this is slightly awkward because it's not actually showing the preview of the file, but still. I suppose I should be able to open it as a general folder thing. Yeah, that's the one. So in the area you have for your game model, what you should have is several picture files as well, and one of them is going to be one that looks pretty much like the character in colour, but stretched all over the place because they're squares and you sort of just warp them all over the place. But nonetheless, you should see that as a picture. It'll be fairly obvious if you've got any kind of sort of preview mode. You can see, there we go, it's actually got the previews now. But yeah, you'll see like there's probably going to be one that's all purple. That's the height map, bump map, whatever you want, normal map, whatever you want to call it. And then there should be one. It might be something. I've just realised this one's called D at the end. It's got the letter D. That's for diffuse. Then the other one's got N for normal, and then the other one's got S for I can't remember. Oh, it's going to be... It might be the specular. Yeah, I'm reckoning it might be specular. Anyway, the crucial thing is you should have what looks like the colour version of the character, but it's going to be squidged all over the place. And what you want to do is you want to drag that into this area here in Blender. You can see that was from the folder, dragged in, and it's appeared in Blender. And then what you want to do is here, you want to just take this little thing here, which is the yellow colour plug, and you plug that into the base colour, and it is yellow to yellow. So you plug that into the base colour, and now, ba-ding! They have all appeared. And what you want to do is, pop back to the layout for view, and you can see there you've got the image. For the other separate pieces of geometry, what you want to do is over here under the material tab again, you use this little drop down here, and you go drop down, and then you go, you can rename these materials, but material 001 is the one we've already done, and because it's all in one block, you just reuse the same material. So we want to use her face as well. Material 001, she gets her face. Material 001 again, and you get the hair. And there you go. We now have full colour preview, and you can still, if you desire, go down to the non-full colour preview. Because I must admit, what's quite useful, if you're fiddling with trying to sort of make geometry like I am with Rhino, this obviously textured view gives you what you want. So with the one I've started of Lady Bullseye, I've pulled this piece of the material sort of out as geometry. I was going to put my own little knobbly bits on, as it were. I'll probably try and track down the belts and thicken those, and possibly even just sort of try and thicken everything that's black whilst leaving everything that's white sort of where it is. So basically anything black is puffed up, I suppose you would say, and anything white is still down below, which will just give a bit of texturing. But yeah, so that's quite useful there. But what's equally quite useful is dropping down there and going, does it look quite good as what it would basically print as a miniature? So that's the theories. Open recent. Rhino! No, don't save that one because I don't need to. It's fine. There we go. Excellent. Oh, boo hiss boo, the joke in your Discord, Mr. Can't Sleep. Tut tut tut. The people you attract and their tut 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 level jokes. But yeah, as I say, what's quite nice is like here you can sort of see what it's going to look like, but to really see what it's going to look like as a miniature, you can drop into the grey mode, which is basically going to really tell you that's what I'm going to be printing, which is quite useful, as I say, based on the idea of doing this thickening idea. You can really sort of see what is... looks like he's just got some random pimple there. Oh no, don't piss out of my leg pimples. I don't like piss being taken out of my leg pimples. It's not fair. I didn't ask for leg pimple. You put leg pimple on me. Anyway, we want to go back in here. And, I mean, I think 4 is a fairly good number in terms of sort of your height-based geometry, perhaps? I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm making it up. So, if I say 4 is sufficient, I think 4 is probably sufficient. Oh, there we go. No. No. You're bad. You're a bad man. Full-on newspaper to the nose sort of no, that was. Or at least that's how I read it. A complete newspaper to the nose. No. You should not. You should feel bad. The points in the middle don't really... Like, you can see the obvious thing here is the point at the top is following this rim line there, and the point at the bottom is following the rim line at the bottom. You may be wondering, why? What are these ones in the middle doing? Pretty much just supporting, and pretty much the position, and I'm just trying to make it look pleasant-ish. I think I mentioned this previously. If the geometry looks kind of nice and satisfyingly sort of flowy, it usually means you've done a reasonably good job on your geometry. If you look at the geometry and you go, that's ugly geometry, you've usually done something wrong and it won't work as well. But that's a silly rule, but surprisingly accurate. I must admit, it feels like... No, okay, it's fine. We think it's all worked out well. And now, yeah, we just want to sort of... This is where it gets slightly awkward because I'm having to rearrange a lot of this geometry a bit more because I'm going up and round a corner. But again, it's just sort of where you've got that corner, I'm just sort of reflecting that corner fairly severely round that bit, then a little more subtle, until finally you get it sort of... Basically, the ones in the middle, just make them in the middle. Or at least that's the goal I've got in mind. Whoops, that's the wrong one. We want E. E by Gumnad. Now, one option I could do is scale them. It's a perfectly viable option, because it does... sort of it scales them in a uniform fashion, but I must admit, because we're doing a sort of slightly angled view, I suppose I would say, the scale tool is not necessarily that required. If you're doing something really straight on, then scaling is absolute fucking king of all things. But because I'm doing it sort of dodgy camera angle, it's not quite as pertinent to the situation. But again, it's always good to note that you've got it as an option, because you never know when it'll come in handy. So I am sort of taking the higher one. I'm going to leave that as a sort of gap, and that sort of will be a gap as well. I think it'll be alright. Again, all of this is fairly changeable. I can take that entire line and just adjust it relatively easily. It's not optimal to have to do so, but you know, sometimes needs must and all that. Just knocking it round the corner. No, we're almost to our gap. So I'll tell you what I'll probably do is I'll finish this piece of leg armour, specifically this single, well, the whole round, not literally just this one. And then if people are still interested in a board game, we might just go ahead and do one. Probably Escape the Dark Castle, so I think I mentioned that earlier on. But yeah, Escape the Dark Castle, I find it to be quite an entertaining sort of experience. It's a devilishly difficult one. Devilishly difficult. But not a hugely long game, I don't think. Probably about, I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily want to give a time frame. About an hour, maybe. I wouldn't necessarily want to give a time frame. About an hour. It didn't take much for you to get over your desire not to do it. Happy to experience anything you fancy. I say that's an open invitation. But yeah, obviously, being called Escape the Dark Castle, it is quite a dark game. And yeah, it's pretty much it's teams versus the world, essentially. Let's just reselect that because I think I selected a point across the other side. The big issue I'm finding with this method at the moment is selecting the wrong points at the opposite side of the geometry. You do have to be careful what points you are grabbing at which point. But arguably, oops, there we go. If I select those, detach those, and then move those, that will get me my gap and retain my sort of four piece. Whoops. So the whoops there for anybody interested. It wasn't quite what I thought it was. It was a different whoops. But either way, the undo button is your friend at all times. At all times, universal undo button in almost every program. Control Z. I don't think I need to tell people that, but nonetheless, if you were ever in doubt and you ever thought to yourself, "Oh shit, I need to undo that," at least try Control Z. No guarantees it will work. It's not a 100% universal thing across every single program. But even something like OBS, if you move something by mistake, Control Z, it will undo it. And it's very good. Control Z is your friend. Apparently, and this is obviously going back quite a lengthy period of time, I'm assuming, but apparently upon the origin of Blender, the original Blender did not have an undo feature, so everything you did you were stuck with. So I imagine that encouraged 3D developers to very much go with the idea of right, save it. I've done something, save it, but a different file. Not just keep saving it, I mean keep saving different files. You have about an army of files on you. But anyway, the mistake I made just moments ago that I did undo, that was I hit... The one advantage of using keyboard shortcuts is they're quick. The one disadvantage of using keyboard shortcuts is I've got fat fingers. But what I inadvertently did was instead of hitting G, I hit F. And F is the fill tool. And you don't really want to be filling any of these, because that's going to give you odd geometry that's unnecessary. Unnecessary and odd geometry. And that's two things you want to avoid. Unnecessary and odd geometry are not your friends. The undo button is your friend. Odd geometry is not your friend. If odd geometry ever comes up to you and says, hello, you leave. Yeah? You do not want anything to do with odd geometry. He will try to ruin your day. Speaking of, another friend is the Control S button, which is save. But as I say, it's quite interesting how many programs do adhere to the universal undo button shortcut. It has become very much a sort of thing nowadays. The fill tool, yes, it brings out Phil Mitchell. If you push the F key, Phil Mitchell comes in and goes, "Oi, you alright? Yeah, I'm Phil Mitchell. I've got a brother called Grant, and I think I might have another brother. Oh yeah, I've got a brother called Billy. I don't know, was he a full brother? Because me and Grant, we look like fucking twins, don't we? But Billy, no, Billy's like the runt, I think, isn't he? We also had Peggy Mitchell, of course. Peggy Mitchell, played by Barbara Windsor. Now, obviously, me being Phil Mitchell, I didn't know she was played by Barbara Windsor, because obviously I just knew her as Mum. But yeah, apparently some people have told me that my old ma, Peggy Mitchell, was played by Barbara Windsor, and she became very famous for the phrase "Gamma pub." So yeah, there's some fun facts for you. Yeah. I think internally we won't bother. Unnecessary and odd was the title of my school reports. This sounds like my version of Daredevil. Yes, your rooftop Daredevil. Get off that roof, Daredevil. Oi, you slag. Get off that roof, you little shit. I kind of want that slightly tighter, as it were. Oh, misses. So here's another sort of odd little thing that I've not necessarily discussed in the past. But when the setup I've got here, I did sort of discuss the setup the first time I employed it, but nonetheless, the setup I've got here on this sort of armour is I've got shrink wrap, which basically helps the magnetisation and latches it onto this mesh. So it's basically all in an effort to sort of get it to pin itself to the mesh as best it can. So basically I'm magnetising the points and shrink wrapping the points as well. Next up I've got solidify, which is pushing it outwards, which is allowing basically this flat to become this solid. And then finally we're using subsurface division, which basically divides the surface. And that's why, if we look, although I must admit it's not as obvious as I thought it was going to be. No, it really isn't. Oh well, never mind. I can just about see it, but I know what I'm looking for. I don't think you could if you weren't aware. But anyway, points that are closer together, like these two, will make for slightly... Can you see it a bit more like that? No, not really. You can see there, that's very, very round. So it's like very, very round, very, very round, very, very round, slightly flatter, very, very round, very, very round. And that's basically, if geometry is close together, it won't go as far apart. Hence why I moved that in. So, but I mean, yeah, I know what I mean. But if we look at that as it is, and then I'm going to put in an extra bit of geometry right up close to that, you can see it's a lot tighter. Ooh, it's a lot tighter. Yeah. Oops. Without the geometry. With the geometry. Oops. Keep undoing too early. Or undoing too late, I suppose. But that's why in this little section here, I'm putting the lines slightly closer together. Although, as we've just discovered, it's not making as much difference as I thought it was going to make. But there you go. What I can always do is add some extra geometry, and then it might make more difference. But that's a task for later. At the moment, we just want to sort of block in roughly the beginning sections to see what happens, or to get a shape rather, not to see what happens. I know what happens. I manipulate these points around this piece of armour, and I make a piece of armour. The crucial thing is to get the shape. You can make sort of adjustments later on. But yeah, what's quite useful in this setup is I can... it's mostly procedural. So A, I can increase the thickness, as I think I discussed last week, and B, I can also decrease or increase the subsurf. So if I want it to just be really angular, I can have all of the sort of facets and faces showing, or we can go up a level, and then we can go up another level. I'll save it, just in case, but we can go up another level. Okay, it's fairly reasonable there, but we can go up to 4, 5. 5 is probably... I mean, 5 is smooth. And if I went higher, you get even smoother. But we don't really need that level of smoothing. Truth be told, I don't think you need level 2 of smoothing, but what can I say? It's habitual. I habitually like a smooth thing. You've been struck by a smooth criminal. A bam 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 bam, biddy bam bam, biddy bam bam bam. Have you ever found a biddy bam bam? I have found a biddy bam bam. A biddy bam bam, biddy bam bam bam. Well, you keep your biddy bam bam to yourself. I will keep my biddy bam bam to myself. Don't think you're getting your hands on my biddy bam bam. My biddy bam bam is precious. Come here, bastard. As I say, sometimes you do struggle slightly because you can still select the geometry from behind there, I think. Yeah, especially if I go like that. Oh, yeah, no, that really went wrong. I moved it and stuff. Just generally stuffed it up. So always try and be semi-conscious as to precisely what points you're actually grabbing. They do glow orange and white, so it's not too difficult. It's just sometimes I have had to go in and repair things in the past where I've extruded the wrong points and not noticed. That's the worst one. It's not too bad if you extrude the point wrong and you notice you've extruded the point wrong immediately. You can use the undo button. If, of course, you do not notice, the undo button no longer really gives a shit about you. The undo button will very much go, I don't care, mate. Yeah. It's not my job to go all the way back there and find out how you have fucked it up, son. Yeah. What you want to do is make sure you don't fuck it up in the first place. Well, yeah, I know that's the optimal, mate. But yeah, well, sometimes you've got to look. I've got to be cruel to be kind here, son. I can't undo everything at all times. Oi, blub! You fat slimy beach ball. Harsh. Stop slapping that little girl and get some exercise. Daredevil's a bit of a dick, isn't he? Oi, Daredevil. Get some ice and go practice with your skipping rope on the main road. Now, surely you'd prefer him not to have his eyes, and you'd prefer him to skip on a main road, because then he'd die. possibly not in your arms tonight. Was it something you said? I think it must have been. I mean, he was in your arms, so it's very difficult if it wasn't something you'd said at the time. I just died in your arms tonight. It must have been something you said. I don't know why, but that song, I don't even necessarily like that song, but it is permanently affixed in my brain. Permanently affixed in my brain. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like a bad song. I'm not going to besmirch it by going, oh, it's a horrible song, I don't like it, it's disgusting. It's just, it's not one that I would traditionally consider to be like a favourite song. And yet, it is very much inside my brain pan. And what else is inside the brain pan? I don't know. Fuck knows, really. I mean, arguably, nobody really needs to know what's inside my brain. It's a horrible, desolate place of misery and hardship. But, you know, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about the misery and the hardship. We just talk about the fun times. Not entirely sure which line I want to go for here, which is slightly problematic, but I think to a certain extent we want the gap to sort of basically run parallel, or I don't know if I agree with it being parallel, but basically we want our gaps and our flats to line up with that general area, the way the line is going. So if you need to separate geometry, again, I think I've discussed this in the past, but if you need to separate your geometry, so here, there's no geometry there. I've separated it off. Easiest way to do grab the face, hit the Y button, and that will separate, because that's the separate button. No, there's no other reason for it. It is the separate button. It's called the separate button. It separates things. There's no further complications there. It is the separate button. It will separate things. It will separate things from other things. Do you need a thing that is separate to your other things? Yes, you do. Then hit the Y button. Doesn't work with everything. It couldn't like separate milk. Not that you really want to separate milk, but milk does separate. It won't do anything to buttermilk. It won't do anything to your butter icing. So you're okay there. It won't separate your butter icing. You won't have to try and fix that. But you never know. If there's a fight near you, and you go up to them and you just go, "Why?" They might get so confused that they'll stop and separate as part of the fight. And that will allow you to have separated them with a Y. Yeah. So interesting little thing there for anybody sort of paying distinct attention. You may have noticed what I did there was I G'd twice to slide it along the line. So basically it's sliding along the edge. It's called edge sliding. It's at the top there. Edge sliding. Sliding the edge. But that is literally sliding it along the edge. So you can see there it disappears because that's where the edge is. So what you want to do is once you've edge slid, if you're using the magnets and stuff, you want to then just G it, and that'll get all your snapping back into position. And you've apparently done the separate button song, which is interesting because I don't remember it being a song. So it's going to be devilishly fascinating discovering precisely what the fuck that is. But there you go. I'm assuming it was, otherwise you wouldn't have called it a song. It's just that's how little attention I've been paying to basically everything. Excellent. I think we are at the end of my armours. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. I wouldn't necessarily say it was great, but it's not looking too bad either. Aha, you put it in the Moment's Mausoleum. Excellent. I will probably check that out at some point. So yeah, there we go. It's taken an alarming amount of time to do two panels. Maybe probably best. So there's another panel there, another panel there, and then we got all of the same panels over there, and then we got panels there, and then we probably want to do the chest panel, the shoulder panel, the neck panels, the arm panels. Although probably only going to focus on this bit and the knuckles just to boost them up a touch. Possibly those straps as well, because I don't plan on redoing all of the fingers, because that would just be silly and pointless. Probably don't need to worry about his horn either. In fact, most of the head I don't think I have to worry about. I might look in and possibly look to crease it. Yeah. Creasing, basically, if I select a bunch of lines and crease them, they will be slightly more sort of... Because I think, do you have... Yeah, he's got a subsurf on him. So basically, where I was showing that example of putting extra geometry in, that's kind of what creasing does. But I get the impression you don't want to rely too much on creasing. You would be better off putting in supporting geometry rather than creasing it. I think creasing is a legacy. Well, having said that, extra geometry would be the thing. I don't know. Look, most of the time, if I just a blanket warning, a blanket warning for everything I say and everything I do. If it sounds like I know what I'm talking about, I don't. And therefore stop listening. But, you know, I would highly recommend that for all parties involved. Just make sure if you ever think, oh my god, it really sounds like he knows what he's talking about, be suspicious, be afraid, be very afraid, because that is always going to be terrible. Right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's get another tally. Who is interested in a board game? Who is interested in a game? Let's see. Oh, there we go. There's Blender gone. There's a Blender gone. Blender gone. Blender, 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 Blender gone. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Was that actual... I don't think that was an actual physical file. Let's just have a quick check. No, it wasn't. Okay, so that's just a text thing. Let's get that re-established.
I'm here.
You are here. You are very much here. But yes, is there anybody else who's interested in a board game? Because if so, then feel free to shout. If not, then we will do a 2-player one, which I don't think changes the rules, but I will warn you, I've not played this game in quite some time, so there is... Oh, fuck! Oh, that's the other thing that's missing, of course. All of my fonts. All of my fonts. All of my lovely, lovely fonts. Oh, this is going to be like the next several months, isn't it? Finding all the tiny, tiny things that are now missing. That's a shit font. Oh no, that's a shit font. Is that a tolerable font? Okay, that's a tolerable font. Yeah, I think that's roughly what I used to do. Alignment center. Center. Yeah, center will do. That's fine. Add an F. No, I will not add an F. Yeah, that's sufficient. Where do I do? I'm assuming that's in the font. Oh, there's only a regular. Okay, that's fine. It will suffice for. Oh, of course, I can't actually center it because because I don't know where it is. Oh, that's because right, all the way down there, please. That's it. Now, are you gonna? No, of course not. Fucking systems. There we go. It's good. It's good enough. It's good enough, and that's all we can really hope for. Good enough. Good enough. Good enough. Good enough indeed. Right. Okie dokie, let's try and flash over to there, which should have a thing. Now that's, oh yeah, of course, that SAR background shouldn't be like that. No, it should be, I wonder, can we at least get into copy that and then paste that? God damn you. Fine, it's fine, it's all fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Maybe I'll do just one in the corner then. Maybe that's sufficient. Again, arguably sufficient. Lock that down. There we go. That's the one. Right. Let's figure out order of things. Let's ditch that because I suspect I'm going to overtax the internet at this point in time because I'm going to try and host a board game, and you're more than welcome to say no, but it's probably going to be easier if there is a Discord call present, which means I'm going to want this little... I think this is the one, yeah, so... I can't remember if that's going to be the thing that works or not. Pop it there. Oh, there we go. I think that is working. So everything should be like slightly louder than it was before, which actually, oddly enough, I want that in here as well. I'd argue it might be easier to make this a separate one. Yeah. Put that down, something like that. Excellent. Right, now back to Sunday afternoon at home. That's there, that's there, that's there. Excellent. Right. I will create the game. I don't think anything. Well, I mean, they are the details, if you can see those. The server name is going to be JDragon, capital J, capital D, and the server password is SAR. If you ever find yourself having lost those, Nightbot will be happy to throw them at you again with the command !join. But I will create the server first, and what we want to do is find the correct game. Let's go to the Dark Castle. Right, this might make the stream go for a moment. No, it seems to be okay. Probably because I loaded in earlier. Right, so where's the instruction booklet to start with? Let's deal with... Oh, good lord, you're quick. Very, very quick indeed. God, I can't remember how you bloody well... I think to a certain extent you can... Yeah, you can do it like that. And setting up the game, that's probably what we'll want first. Well, having said that, let's see here. No, that's a little bit, that's fine. Ignore that, that's not a problem. Okay, create the castle. Right, I tell you what, I'll create the castle now. and then we'll deal with the rest of it. So shuffle the chapter cards. Which ones are the chapter cards? That's item cards. I think they might be the chapter cards. No, that's the top. Chapter cards! Excellent. Whoops, damn it. There we go. All the wrong buttons. Right. Shuffle the chapter cards and deal 15 face down to form the castle deck. So I think basically we pick that up, give them a shuffle, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Excellent, 15 cards. Right, so shuffle the boost cards. So I think... Oh, they may just be boost cards, yes? Yeah, I'm fairly certain they are the boost cards. So shuffle the boost cards, and we want one boost card. We'll put it over there for a moment, because I think what we want to do... Shuffle the boss cards and place one face down excuse me, underneath the castle deck. So we want to take those, pop you on there, take you, and pop you on there. Start card on top of the castle, and the start card is that castle there. Excellent. Shuffle the item deck and place it face down to the right of the castle deck. There's the item deck. We'll give it a shuffle. I don't necessarily think it was needed on this occasion, because I think it probably starts shuffled, but still. Place the chapter dice in a pool above the castle deck. Chapter dice. They're chapter dice, so they're fine where they are. Choose characters is the next step. Right. Now we've gotten choose characters, let's try and get to some Discordian action. Oh, there's a bit of lag. Almost loaded files. I think by the time by the time I chatted and discussed, I think that resolved itself. So what we'll do is, as you're in my my Discord, what we'll do, I'll drop into the voice channel within the Dragon Chord, the city of Drakeford, and theoretically, if you drop into that channel as well, we should hear you as well.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you. Excellent. And it's going to be very difficult to find out for certain, but theoretically you can be heard of a reasonable volume, I would think. Possibly slightly lower than me, but it is my stream, so, you know, I claim superiority, I suppose. But nonetheless, you should be semi-audible. A little bit robotic at the moment, it sounds, but we'll see if that smooths out. That might just because of the whole, you know, streaming, trying and doing many different things. So we're choosing characters. So theoretically you should be in the game. I don't think you particularly need a character here.
I need a colour.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if you necessarily do in this one, but maybe. So change colour. Yeah, it doesn't make that much difference, but I'll be Bran. I'll be a bit of Bran. That's fine.
Okay.
With knowing potentially nothing about the game, would you like to be the miller, the tanner, the abbot, the smith, the cook, or the tailor? I will just do a quick sort of review. So each of them has a different stat line. You've got, I think it's... The fist is definitely strength. I think the eye is cunning. And the sort of cat's butthole, as most people call it, is wisdom. So the stats on the side of the card is based on the dice they roll. So the tanner, for example, has high wisdom at 4. So 4 sides of the tanner die is wisdom. 3 of the die is going to be cunning, and 1 of the die is going to be fisting, strength. So the tanner is very wise, but very limited strength. Throughout the journey, differing enemies will require different skills to beat. So it's going to be beneficial if we try and make a fairly spread notion of skills. So I'll let you choose first. Do you feel wise, cunning, or do you fancy fisticuffs? I think the cook certainly has the highest fisting. The tailor has the highest cunning, and the abbot and the tanner appear to be sort of evenly wise. But the abbot is better at punching things, which is odd for an abbot, but it's fair.
I'll go with the abbot.
You're going with the abbot? Okay, so you are particularly wise, reasonable at fisting, and not very good at cunning. So I feel like I should probably go... Best option might be, I think, the miller for me. So I will grab the miller. And now basically the card goes in the middle, and it should snap nicely. Oh, there we go, excellent. I was going to say you might have to rotate it, but that's fine. So basically here... I believe... Well, we'll get to that bit. Let's see what the next bit is. Oh, I was right. I just looked at the instruction manual. I should have just looked at the instruction manual in the first place, really, but still. You've got might, fist, cunning, eye, wisdom, cat butthole. So 1 or 2 players, we get 18 health. So if you take your little skull, and it should snap again. Yeah, snaps to the 18 position. We both have 18 health. Excellent. Balanced team has the best chance of success, which is what I did. Now I think we want the next page. Turn order. There is no turn order. We just do things however we fancy. But when you do turn a chapter, if it's got a bolded U, then that is specifically you. So whoever's turned the chapter card. So if, say, one of us gets down to really low health, it might be best if the other one takes a lot of the reading of the doors. Or reading of the events.
Okay.
Turning chapter cards. Yeah, that's not a problem. Read the italic text aloud to the group to set the scene. You can do voices if you choose.
I don't do voices.
Yes, you do. We both know you do voices. But it's got that element of role-playing game in it, because you are sort of going through different events that are randomly generated. The instructions on each chapter card will explain what must be done to complete the chapter. That's fine. When you have completed a chapter, continue turning and completing chapter cards until you escape the Dark Castle. Or until a character is killed and you lose the game. Because basically, whoever dies first, that's it. It's over, no matter what.
Right.
Okay, so drawing item cards. When instructed to draw a number of item cards, first draw and place them face up where all players can see, then decide as a group how the items will be distributed. You can carry a maximum of 2 items. I think the idea, if you can see the little waggling brown hand, I think the items go sort of there and then there. So top and bottom, you get 2 items. I might be mistaken, but that looks about right.
Yeah, following the hand.
Yeah. Some items are described as two-handed, which means a character cannot carry any other item at the same time. I must admit there's a very clever system they do in the second one that denotes that a little bit more, I think. Because they've got a follow-up one, which was Escape the Dark Sector, which is slightly more sci-fi, which is very entertaining as well. Trading items, you can trade between characters, but only after a chapter has been completed, or when new item cards are being drawn. So basically we can sort of pool the items as best we can. There's no real rules against that. Items can be used at any time unless the item card indicates otherwise. The text on each item card describes what it does. Combat. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's start a little bit, and we'll go from combat in a moment. So, right, okay, that's not right. Hang on. There we go. Excellent. So, I'll do the first card, the entrance, and then we'll move on from there. After years of incarceration in the depths of the Dark Castle, you finally break free of your cell. In a small stone room adjoining the cell block stands an old wooden chest. The lock is open. Draw an item card per player now. So, I'll tell you what, I'll draw 1 item there and 1 item there. So, our items are a rusted flail. Once per round of combat, when you roll cunning, you may roll again and choose which of the 2 results to apply. Well, I am very cunning, so that would possibly suit me slightly more. When you would take damage, discard to avoid that damage. So I would possibly put forth... Yeah, because cunning is the eyeball, isn't it? Yes, I'm fairly certain. So yeah, I think if I take the rusted flail, that'll work nicely with my character. And if you take the effervescent evasion just to make things even, And as I say, it will snap to your deck, your positioning thing.
I like to think that I let you out of the cell and you're going through my chest right now.
No, the abbot, I'm afraid, was in the cell as well. You hear footsteps approaching. You must not linger here, adventurer. You make for the exit, slipping away and disappearing into the darkness. Turn the first chapter card now. Would you like to do the honours of turning the first chapter card, or would you like me to do the first one?
I'll have to go. I just want to make sure I know the controls, right? So single click, then F.
It's not quite... Make sure you've only got one card. There we go. You've got to be sort of quite rapid, sort of grab like that. That's it. I don't know which one was supposed to be there. That's it. There you go. And now F is flip. And if you flip it onto the discard pile even, and then if you hover over it and hit Alt, you may or may not know that, it will full screen it. So it makes it bigger. It makes it slightly easier to read.
Right, well, several armed figures spring from the shadows and attack you. Wait, no. You become separated from each other.
Not a bold move.
Must fight alone.
Oh dear, okay. Roll a chapter dice in front of each player to represent the mugger attacking them. Okay, that's not too bad then. Right, so if I'll grab one chapter dice, if you grab another chapter dice over near your area, and then if you hover over it, any one of them, they're all the same. I don't think, I mean, technically they do sort of say 1, 3, but I think that's just example. If you hover over it and hit R, you can roll it up in the sky, and that will do. So mine has rolled cunning, yours has also rolled cunning. The muggers want your items. Players carrying 2 items roll 2 dice instead of 1. That's fine, we've already done that. So no player can rest until the muggers attacking them are defeated. They may then help another player defeat theirs. A player aiding another takes damage as normal and must declare who they are aiding before they roll. Each time a player would take damage from a mother or a mugger, either one, from a mugger, they may avoid it by discarding an item. Yes, mother. Mother's trying to take your items away. Right, so now we want to know a bit more about combat. So, the dice we've rolled is essentially their health pool. So, we've both rolled a cunning for their health pool. So, fighting combat. Each round has 2 simple steps, attack and defend. The first attacking step, to begin a round of combat, each participating player simultaneously rolls their dice to make an attack. Resting players do not make a roll. Then in any order the players choose, resolve the attacks one at a time. Well, we're doing combat separately on this occasion, so, you know, it doesn't make too much difference about sort of figuring that bit out, I don't think. Matches any of the chapter dice. So once you've rolled your dice, if it matches an I, then you've defeated him. If it matches anything else, then you've not. Doubles count as 2 hits of the trait, and I think there's also a shield on the doubles, and if you roll the shield, then you block. Yes, it's just told me that. So if we go over to page 9. Defend. If any chapter dice remain after each character's attack has been fully resolved, the enemy is still alive and attacks back. Any character participating in the combat who did not roll a block now takes damage equal to the attack value of the enemy. The attack value of the enemy is on the card. It's the very bottom right corner. So in this case, the muggers are only a 1.
Right.
Defeating an enemy. If you fully resolve a round of player attacks, all chapter dice have been removed. The enemy is immediately defeated and it does not make a final attack against the players. After combat, when you have defeated an enemy, draw 1 item card. Then choose which player will turn the next chapter card and continue the game. Combat specials. Resting. At the beginning of each combat round, we can't actually rest in this combat, but it'll be worthwhile knowing in the future, I suppose. 1 player can choose to rest, hanging back from the fight to momentarily recuperate. A resting player does not roll to attack, does not take damage, and cannot use items. Instead, that player gains 1 HP for each round they rest. The resting player can rejoin combat at the beginning of any round they choose, or can rest for the entire combat if they wish. While only 1 player can rest each round, it is possible for multiple players to rest on different rounds of the same combat by taking it in turns. Now I've run out of numbers, so we need to do it the awkward way. Solo play we're not interested in, so I think we'll pop back to attack in case I need to reference that at all. So yeah, at this point, I'll do mine first, since we're doing combat separately anyway. So I've got my character dice, and what I'll do is I'll just pop it there. And now I'm hoping to get an eyeball, which should be relatively easy for the Miller, but it's dice, so, you know, let's see what happens. Okay, I've double eyeballed, which means A, I've defeated him, and B, I am shielded from the attack, but that doesn't actually make a difference because it's all separate, so, yeah, the fact that I've defeated him means I won't be taking any damage anyway. So, at this point, if you would like to roll...
defeat mine.
Yes, if you would like to roll your character die, that's not your character die, that's the super special axe. We'll take that. That's not yours either, that's mine. There we go. There we go.
I got it.
Specifically the abbot's die.
Is it F? I can't remember.
R.
No, R.
R for roll. Oh, you've done it! You got an eye for an eye. So, yeah, you defeat the chapter dice. The muggers are defeated. Which means we get to draw...
Did we mug the muggers?
Pardon?
Did we mug the muggers?
We did, essentially, because we get to draw an item. Oh. So our item... I think we only get one. Yeah, I think it's basically we've defeated the card, so we get one item.
Yeah.
I think so, anyway. So a liquid luck potion. Discard to re-roll your character dice, applying only the second result. Would you like to keep a hold of that for now?
Well, I've got a bottle of something. You should have a bottle of something.
I'll take a bottle of something. But again, we can sort of trade items fairly freely. Not quite while we're in combat and stuff, but outside of combat, we can sort of trade fairly freely. Right. Well, shall I do a chapter card now?
You should do.
Okay. Oh dear, we've got a big ugly man.
Oh dear.
A thick-set man walks boldly towards you and adopts a pugilist's stance. I'm a pugilist. His speech is primitive, but you deduce he is calling out your mightiest fighter for a test of strength. Begin combat.
That's you.
Not necessarily. So, combat special. Before each round of combat, nominate one player to fight the strong man. Only that player rolls and only that player takes damage. You! Oh, it is me. Okay, you must fight in the first round. Okay. So, if memory serves, I just need to double check one quick thing. Roll for each player in the game, yeah. So, basically, if you look at the bottom of the card, this is for audience and you can see there are a row of dice bottom left. Fist, eye, player icon. So his health pool is he's got a fist, he's got an eye, and then he's got 2 to be determined upon a roll because there's 2 players. So we roll those 2, and that means he has got another fist and another eye, which is slightly problematic, but we'll see what happens. So look at this. Yeah, I must start the first combat, so let's go rolling. Okay, well, it's an eye, so that's not terrible. Let me just double check my flail. Yeah, okay, so... and choose which of the 2 results to apply. So at the moment I've got 1 cunning, but with my flail I can re-roll, and at this point I have 2 fists. We're taking the 2 fists and shield, oddly enough. So because I rolled 2 fists, I dispense of his 2 fists. He still has health, which means he's going to attack me, but I rolled the shield, and that's the result I'm applying. I think that's how this works anyway. Yeah. Choose which of the 2 results to apply, yeah. So I apply 2 fists and a shield, and because I've got a shield, I don't take any damage. So I probably, for now, might as well carry on, because he's got 2 cunning, and I've got the most chance of doing cunning. So I'll take the next round as well, so I will roll my die again. Whoops, I didn't mean to roll those 2, but it doesn't make too much difference. Okay, shield, so I dispense of his fist for that, and I'm shielded once again. So I'll take another crack at the cunnings. 2 cunnings, well, excellent. Well, that's
pretty good.
I feel like I'm doing it wrong, but I'm also fairly confident I've done it correctly. But it went surprisingly well. So here we go. Oh. A partially rotten apple. Discard to restore 1 HP to your character. Well, I'm going to volunteer you to at least carry the partially rotten apple, because you've got the space. But welcome, Mr. Cool Cat Onibushu. Welcome to Sunday Afternoon at Home, where we are playing Escape the Dark Castle. So, would you like another chapter deck?
Oh, sure, yeah, right. Grab, flip. Oh dear.
That's the thing.
As you hurry onward, well, I wasn't hurrying, you probably were. A distant rumbling sound grows steadily closer. Well, it's probably that rotten apple. It surges to a sudden roar, and flagstones of this passageway rise up and take form. It's a passageway monster blocking your way. As a group, choose one option, then begin combat.
Ooh, okay.
Overwhelm the elemental at close quarters, or faint and
so he'd have 2 health that we don't know what those 2 health are, but he's doing 3 damage, or he's going to have 4 health, one of which is a fist and one of which is a cunning, and he's only doing 2 damage per turn. I think
we should overwhelm.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards overwhelm. So 2 dice. 2 dice there, and his health pool is a fist and a cunning, which actually works reasonably well towards our strengths. So at this point, yeah, we roll our dice, and we both roll our dice this time because we're both involved in this combat. And okay, so I've gotten rid of his cunning, which actually means I've rolled a cunning, so I can re-roll that. So I've got, at the moment, I've got 1 cunning available. I've still got 1 cunning available, so I'm going to do the 1 cunning. And unfortunately, you didn't do anything, and I don't think you've got anything.
No, I got the cat's ass.
No, I was going to say I've got liquid luck. So that's not going to count. You could possibly use your effervescent potion at this point if you wanted to, but at this point, neither of us got a shield. So 1, 2, 3 points of damage to me because I have no choice, but you do have the potion if you wanted it. But then it's a difficult choice.
It's quite a lot of damage.
It is 3 damage. So you're discarding the... it's weird being a viewer and not a fisty guy. I see. Were you a fisty guy last time then? So yeah, he's still got 1 fist left. We've dealt with the damage. It's time to roll our dice again. Ah, fisty. Excellent. I've managed to defeat him. Unfortunately, you've catsed. Yeah, you've catsed arsehole again.
Yeah.
Right. So as far as I know,
cunning.
Yeah, there we go. Excellent. So we beat him. So we've managed to get another effervescent potion. So would you like to just take that straight back? You might as well.
Sure. I guess I just pick it back up off the floor.
Yeah.
There's still some left.
Yeah. Yeah. You only drunk half of it. Right. Okay. So, and here. Oh dear. This looks ominous. Your spirit is suddenly wrenched from your body. Paralyzed, you can only watch as it drifts above you. You are incapacitated. To restore your corporeal balance, the other players must roll in unison, keeping track of any wisdom rolled until they have a total wisdom equal to the number of players. After each attempt, you lose 1 HP unless the total has been reached. Okay, so this is actually kind of your wheelhouse. So I need 2 wisdom, because that's the amount of players. So roll your dice, and let's hope for double wisdoms. 1 wisdom.
How about single wisdom?
There we go. I take 1 damage, and now you need 1 more wisdom to hopefully save my corporeal. Excellent. That'll do.
Yes.
So you have saved my corporeal form. Now just double check the combat thing, because I don't think technically that was combat.
Get an item.
Yeah, that's what I'm just thinking.
Well, there's no.
I think it's off when you've defeated an enemy. So I think that one's just done. You don't get anything special.
Yeah, don't do that again.
No, it's fair. Right. So would you like to risk a turn of the chapter?
You interrupt a beast man devouring a fresh kill. He raises his head, sinew dangling from his gore-smeared mouth, and then he charges. PayPal. Probably a credit card. I don't know.
Yes, okay.
You must roll a might or a
Oh.
double. I can't read it because double in one attempt. Success, you react quickly and dive aside, begin combat. Oh, this is like a precursor.
Yes. Basically, we're beginning combat no matter what, but yeah.
It says
you might get buggered.
So that's me.
That's specifically you, yeah, I'm afraid. You have to try and get a might or a double, which actually is your sort of wheelhouse, because your double wisdom is going to be there, or possibly... nope, you've...
No. I'm really good at the cat.
Wow.
That's okay, it's 4.
Okay, it does exist. Another side of that dice does exist. I just had to check. So, unfortunately, you didn't roll a might nor a double, so you're slammed to the floor and you lose 2 HP.
Oh, no.
2 HP, there we go. And now begin combat. So we're looking at a fist, an eye, and 2 mysteries. Let's move them slightly there. Whoops, that's not quite what I'd intended, but never mind. They're not important cards at the moment. So we're looking at 2 fists, an eyeball, and a cat's bum. So let's hope for the best as we engage in combat. Okay, well I've managed a fist. You've managed an eye as well. So a fist and an eye disappear, and unfortunately he now does 2 damage to us. And yeah, neither of us got shields, so there we go. And now we roll our dice again and hope for the best. Okay. Well, technically that was a cunning, so I'm gonna. No, I don't think it's going to get better than that. Well, I suppose I might as well use the flout, just in case. Yeah, no, that's not...
We get to choose.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm choosing the first option, which would be 2 cunning and a shield, which is the key thing, because at this point, he does 2 damage only to you. Don't forget, if you want to do your effervescent evasion, of course, at any point in time.
I'm eating the apple.
You're eating the apple, that's fair. Yes. Right, and we roll those dice again. Excellent. 2 fists and a shield again for me, I'm afraid. So, unfortunately, only you take 2 damage this time. And now, hopefully, 2 eyes and a shield again, and a fist for you. I'm afraid you're taking 2 damage. Yeah. Hey, the wisdom. Excellent. Finally, the one time we wanted you to keep rolling wisdom, and your character seemed inept at doing so. Anyway, we've managed to defeat them. Well, that's my dice. So let's check what our item card is. I mean, I definitely shuffled them, I promise. But I suppose arguably you've already got an effervescent. So would you like to have liquid luck? And I'll take the effervescent on this occasion. So that was your pull. So we might as well do it in sort of turn by turn at the moment. There's no huge beneficial anywhere. Victory butthole, exactly. And you always want a victory butthole. Something is blocking the door to this chamber, and you use your shoulder to force it open. It is only not the victory butthole. You don't use your shoulder to force that open. It is only when you step inside, eggshell crunching underfoot, that you realise you have destroyed a creature's nest. There is a mournful wail as it approaches from the darkness, its sorrow soon turning to fury. Begin combat. Okay, so all players may fight as normal, but you are the only player this creature attacks, and you may not rest. Excellent. Okay, so you're immune to damage on this occasion. So we want a fist, an eyeball, and 2 mysteries. Whoops.
You should have stepped on its eggs.
Apparently not. I've very much annoyed it. As a fist, and I'll tell you what, just because that's slightly cocked, we'll just make sure it lands flat.
Perfect.
Okay, so 2 fists. A whale. Whales don't lay eggs. Right, so you are technically allowed to rest if you wanted to. That would regain you 1 HP, but you would not engage in combat. I am not allowed that privilege, so I will certainly be rolling my dice and hoping for the best. I'm so close. Unfortunately, you got... I can re-roll my cunning, of course. Let's see. Double fist. Ooh. Excellent. Double fist and a shield is pretty much what we need. And unfortunately, you didn't do anything on this occasion, so it would be doing 2 damage to me exclusively, but I did get my shield. So we roll again. Oh, excellent. Triple eyeballs, so we've definitely comfortably defeated it. And I got a shield anyway, so excellent. And now we defeated it, so we get an item. A partially rotten apple. What's your health state? I think it's lower than mine.
9.
So, yeah, I think the best bet is probably if we just ditch the partially rotten apple and you eat it immediately, essentially.
This is not good. I've had 2 now.
Well, I mean, you might survive the Dark Castle and then have the shits later. But you've escaped the Dark Castle. So I think, all in all, that's a win. Because you can see, we're doing surprisingly well, but we've still got 10 cards left and only 12 points of health between us. Well, I suppose I've got 12 and you've got 10. So we're losing health. We're losing health quite rapidly. But it feels like we're doing well until you realise there's 10 cards left.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh dear. Vomiting.
Your boot catches a tripwire. Oh, sorry. Releasing a shower of acid. Oh, no, from above. All players must try to roll cunning in one attempt for each player. Okay, success, you dodge the acid.
Yeah,
failure.
I've definitely got an advantage there.
Dissolve.
Oh, no. Discard an item as well. Oh, and if you have 2, shuffle them face down and discard 1 at random. Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
Oh, right, that's awful. Okay, well, hopefully. Come on, dice roll. Excellent, I believe. Cunning? Cunning? Yes, it was cunning. So
yes,
I managed to dodge the trap. Unfortunately, you did not manage to dodge the trap. You have 2 items, so I suppose, yeah, if you put them down, flip them, and then put them on top of one another, and they should stack. And now if you pick them up, if you try and pick them both up, there we go. And now, yeah, that's it. And now get rid of whatever the top one is. That should be a suitable random choice. If we find out, you've lost your effervescent potion. That's actually quite bad. And then, yeah, so we've discarded the item. And it's only if you have none that you lose. No, you don't lose any health this time.
Oh, I don't.
It was only if you had no items. So
I held myself in front of the acid.
Yes. Thank you very much. Oh, a knight in shining armour. You pass the dusty alcove, where an imposing suit of armour is displayed. As you admire its impressive size, it suddenly moves, stepping from its mount and drawing its blade. Begin combat. You are terrified by this possessed suit of armour and cannot block. I think I might be dead. Okay. Right, well, we need a eye. 2 buttholes, I believe it was. 2 buttholes.
Okay, and good versus buttholes.
2 mysteries. So we get a 3rd butthole and another eye. Okay. Well, let's roll them bones. So I've managed to get an eye. Excellent. So, double butthole and an eye has gone. You are shielded from the damage. So you do not take any damage. I must admit, yeah, I took an eye, but I'll re-roll that because I've got my flail. I forgot my flail. A fist. Yeah. So we'll take the first result after all. And then, unfortunately, I do take 2 damage. I think I'll save the potion for later. Yeah. So 2 damage, and we go again with our dice. Well, yes. Perfect rolls for us. Excellent. I'm not going to bother re-rolling mine because it's not needed. So we just defeated someone. So 1 item card. The Rengorn's Rune. Whenever you roll a double, you may change it to any single. That's quite good. I tell you what, you can have that because I'm full of items, and that gives you a relic like my. Well, I suppose mine's a weapon, isn't it, technically? But so yes, that was me. So if you would like to have a look at the next chapter.
The next chapter is you ascend a narrow spiral staircase, emerging onto a wind-swept bell tower. As you cross the tower, the bell swings into life. Oh, its dreary peal shaking your very bones. Its dreary peal. There's someone hanging from it.
Yes. Yes. It's creepy. So yeah, we need to roll wisdom or a double in one attempt. So you stand a very good chance. I'm hoping for a double, I think, essentially. Excellent. Not excellent. You do technically have your liquid luck, but it depends if you want to spend that now or keep it for later. Nope, 2 damage. Yeah, lose 2 HP, and then we go on to the next. Oh, good lord! There's a worm smashing through the wall. You hear a wet, slithering sound.
It's not me.
It seems to be coming from within the walls. As you lean in to listen, a disgusting creature bursts through the stonework, bile oozing from its gaping mouth as it lunges to devour you. Any player who cannot roll a double in one attempt is struck by flying debris and loses 1 HP. Okay, so we both need to try and roll a double to find out this bit. Oh no, I get to... round of combat. It's not a round of combat. Damn. Oh, you got a double and a shield, so you are very much away. I lose 1 HP, though. And now we begin combat. Not even started the combat, and I've lost health, which is not great news. 2 buttholes and a partridge in a pear tree. A fist and another butthole.
3
Escape
buttholes.
the Dark Castle is what Spawn is going to do. Nasty. So yeah, I've got nothing specific, so it's rolling those bones. Oh, darn it. Oh, but that is a wisdom, so I can re-roll. So I've got 1 wisdom at the moment. Or 1 wisdom, okay.
I've got a wisdom.
That's not wisdom, it's cunning, sorry. But either way, we've only got 1, so both of them go in. And unfortunately, yeah, 2 damage.
Down to 6.
I must admit, I'm thinking I might pop that potion at this point, so I don't lose health this round. If you're down to no, we might be better off putting our best foot forward against this thing because it's doing 2 damage. But we might need to sort of figure out the resting. You've done the fist and a butthole, and you're shielded from this.
I could change it to any single.
That's fair.
Well, maybe you should keep the fist, because I can take care of the buttholes better.
I was going to say, yeah, I think next time might be worthwhile keeping those. So I take 2 damage, but you're shielded. And we go again. And hope... Whoops. That was not a good roll. I mean, it was a good roll, but I think I fat-fingered it into something completely different. So that's technically... There's no way... I literally only have 1 butthole, so I'll re-roll it just because I can. But probably, yeah, I was going to say, I'm probably taking the first result because it had a shield on it.
Unless
you could liquid luck, yeah. You might be able to get... I'm assuming you've got 2 sort of... Yeah, you do have 2. Unfortunately, not on this occasion. So, yeah, I've still got my shield from the first roll. But, yeah, you take 2 damage.
2. Down to 4.
Ooh, okay. This is the problem. I kind of need your wisdom. So I think you might have to carry on combat, because otherwise we might be fucked. Well, we might still be fucked, but still. Oh, yes, perfect. 1 wisdom each. Excellent. That's what we required. And we've defeated the worm. And we've managed to get the replication stones. Whenever you roll a single, it counts as 2 singles of that trait. Now, interesting.
You should take that one.
Yeah, I will take that one then. Carry on my wayward son. Yes, I think it is technically your turn, but do we want to start tactically thinking? But you've drawn it now, so you're in.
No, I've just got it.
Yeah, you're in.
To enter this door, you're forced to push aside thick, thorn-covered vines. They spring to life, obviously, because everything does here.
Yes.
Binding your wrists and holding you into the thicket. Oh, not thickets. Beyond. Lose a HP regardless. Let's do that now.
Not great news.
3. Hacking at the aggressive weeds eventually causes them to recede through cracks in the stone walls, leaving behind the belongings of previous victims. 2 item cards.
Excellent. So an effervescent potion, always quite useful, and a rotten shield.
Everything's rotten.
That's not bad. Ah, that's awkward, because we do not have the space for all of these things, but both of them are quite good.
The shield's probably the...
Yeah.
Damage, reduce the amount I want. That's really good.
I was going to say, I think the shield might be best, which unfortunately means, but I think the replication stones and the rusted flail, they're both very useful, so I think I'm keeping those. So I think it might be discard the effervescent potion, which is unfortunate, but that's the way the cookie crumbles, I suppose. A series of long blades swing from the ceiling of this narrow passageway. You study the pattern of their movement and prepare to dash through to the other side. In unison, all players must roll their character dice, along with 1 chapter dice 3 times. Each time a player's character dice matches the chapter dice they rolled, they are caught by the blades and lose 2 HP. If a player rolls a double on any of the 3 rolls, they survive that roll without taking damage. Okay, so I take a chapter dice and my dice, and you do the same.
So it's just 1 chapter dice between us, or 1 each?
No, it's 1 each, I think. Let me just double check that. Roll their character dice along with 1 chapter dice. So I think that is individuals. So essentially, if they match, like yours are at the moment, so if you rolled that, you would take 2 HP. So that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for differences. Let's
3 times.
Hope for the best. Okay, double shields me anyway. Unfortunately, you've just rolled... Oh, no. Oh, no. You got caught by blades. Lose 2 HP. You are on 1 HP. This is not good. Oh, although...
whenever you take
reduce
damage.
the amount by 1. So, yes. The shield does count. Unfortunately, 3 times. Okay, so that was 1. We go again. I'm safe. You're safe. Because it's
matching?
A double. It's matching, but it's a double. I think the double trumps, yeah. Rolls a double on any of the 3 rolls, they survive that roll without taking damage. So, second roll, we're fine. 1 more. Unfortunately, 1, 2, there's nothing I can do. I got double-fisted, and there's nothing I can do about it. But you've managed to survive. We've done the 3. Okay, so I think at this point, I might be better off tanking any nasty effects that come our way. But I don't think we're going to quite make it to the end of the dungeon. There is a deafening roar and the passageway begins to shake. A section of the old wall beside you collapses and you are buried beneath chunks of heavy stone. You are incapacitated. To remove the rubble crushing you, the other players must roll in unison, keeping track of any might rolled until they have rolled a total might equal to the number of players. After each attempt, you lose 1 HP until the total is reached. If you have not been rescued after 3 attempts, you manage to crawl your way from the rubble and continue. So, it's your dice. We're looking for might to equal 2.
Okay, I'm good at this.
Well, you're semi-dead. Hey! Might equals 2. I think that counts, because it is double might. Yeah. Double might. Excellent. Yeah. You heave those stones off me. Excellent. Well done. I think, again, though, same principle. You are on the cusp of death. This passageway leads to a set of old stone steps. They descend into a flooded cave. The water is murky, but a dim light is visible some distance below. You take a deep breath and dive, kicking towards the light. Each player must try to roll a double in 1 attempt. For each player, success, you make it through, surfacing on the other side. Failure, you begin to flounder, lose 1 HP and try again. Okay, so we need to roll a double. So let's go and hope for the best. God damn it. Oh, no, combat only.
No.
Although, having said that, no, 2 singles. It has to be a double. So, yeah, lose 1 HP and try again, unfortunately. So let's hope we get it this turn.
I might die.
Yeah, I know. It's a distinct... Oh, no, okay. No, that's... Are you drowning? You've drowned. Well, balls. Let's have a look. I think at this point...
The death book?
Yeah. I can't quite remember. Oh, has a unique code printed in the border near the lower left edge. Is that correct? Oh, yes, you're quite right. So DCSE CH35. So... Oh, what is it? A DCSE? Yeah, it was a DCSE, so 4 to 45. We're looking for chapter 35. There we go. The waters churn and a violent current pulls you downward. Your lungs begin to burn as you thrash furiously, making little progress towards the light. With the last of your strength, you surge upward, striking your head on the jagged rocks before being sucked into the depths below. Without you, the rest of your party is soon overcome by the forces of darkness and hauled back to the deepest, darkest of cells. Long after your mortal frames have rotted away, your spirits live on, tortured souls doomed forever to haunt the castle passages, never finding peace. Your adventure ends here. So you didn't just drown, you drowned, smashed your head, and then get sucked into the depths below. So
well, I was looking for the friendly reason, and unfortunately I found the violent current.
See. Wow. Well, there we go. That is unfortunately the end of our Escape the Dark Castle journey.
So close.
At this point, I mean, could do another one if anybody else wanted to join. That is viable. If you wanted another one, of course, you might not want to do it again.
I'm fine too.
Okay. If there is anybody else fancying a go, then they're more than welcome to join up. I will reset the game. If you did fancy joining, you might need to give a shout if it takes a moment to load in. But they are the details to find the game. And I will try and sort of rearrange a new deck. So essentially what we want to do, if you wish to play, I'm more than happy for you to play. So that's the front card, isn't it? So we want to put that front card. Oh, hang on, let's put that dice there. Put the front card there. That's it. And now theoretically, that's 14 chapter cards. That's a chapter card. That's a boss card. Excellent. If we grab those. Ah, you're about to have dinner. That's fair. Enjoy your dinner. Grab a boss. But yeah, no, Oni, you're more than welcome to join. Again, I got caught by time zones there. I was like, 4:30? What are you talking about? It's 5:30, you fool. But of course, you are in a different country. So, right, let's flip those again. Can't deny they may end up some of them one way up and some of them the other way up. But I'm sure we can flip them again. It won't make too much difference. So yeah, that's just the discard pile. Give them a shuffle. And now I'll put the Miller over there in case anybody else fancies the Miller. And yes, we've got a boss. I'll just give them another shuffle just in case. And fear 15? I believe it was 15.
It's a boss.
Yeah, there's a boss as well. There is absolutely a boss. You can, I mean, it's one of those ones where I don't think I've ever actually encountered a boss. And by the time you're at a boss, there is no hope. There is no hope of actually defeating a boss. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that should be a 16 card total. And a dungeon deck door on top. And yes, I'll tidy up the Miller. There we go. He's in place. Right, I think that's actually the entirety of the setup, isn't it? It's sometimes slightly difficult because it's like, oh no, it's not difficult. That's the key thing. Tell you what, let's have a look. Oh, interesting. This is actually a recollection of the unmapped passages and chambers of the Dark Castle. You throw open the door and feel relieved to see the chamber which lies empty. You step inside, dwarfed by the towering bookshelves. I don't know precisely what that's supposed to be, but still. Do not look over your shoulder, prisoner. There's quite a lot of storyline there. Interesting. And the Cook's Tale. Yeah, blimey, they've got full-fledged sort of storylines behind the characters as well. It's quite nice. I think this was a Kickstarter many years ago.
Hunter.
Oh, here we go. Oni Bushel has connected. Excellent. You can feel free to drop into the Discord as well if you wish to. Equally, you don't have to if you do not wish to.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
Hello.
I haven't got the notification that says someone's joined on, it would seem. So you can stealth join. You are purple. Right, I think our health bars change. Yes. 3 players, we only get 14 health each. So unfortunately, we've lost 4 health already. Which is a good start to the game. Absolutely good start. All of the setup is there. So basically, Oni, you might as well choose first on this occasion. Who would you like to be? The abbot, the tanner, the smith, the miller, the cook, the tailor? Oh, he's fondling the abbot.
It's an interesting beard the abbot has.
Yeah, it is quite the split one.
Was the cook last time, if I remember? Yeah, I think.
Oh, you're going for the abbot. So you are high wisdom, high fist, and a single cunning. Mr. Blue Boosh. You are leaning towards the smith, so you are full of fisting. Full of buttholes, and very low cunning. So I think you're both very low cunning, aren't you? Yes, so I think...
I think we should all go low cunning.
No, I think I will be the tailor. So you're... Yeah. The smith can sort of fill in the gap of fisting. The abbot can fill in the wisdom, and I can fill in the cunning. Okay, so once again I will begin with the first card, which, as we all know, after years of incarceration in the depths of the Dark Castle, you finally break free of your cell. In a small stone room adjoining the cell block stands an old wooden chest. The lock is open. 1 item per person. So we have a elixir of something, another rotten apple, and the Fury Shard, I believe. So elixir of insight. Any round of combat to change any 1 chapter dice to show a trait of your choice. Interesting. Discard to restore 1 HP.
Oh, if you can hear that.
Yeah.
Street, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I can distinctly hear that cackling.
Yeah.
It's just adding to the flame.
I was going to say, it really did. I thought we were actually in the Dark Castle for a moment. I thought the world had shifted and gone horribly wrong. And the Fury Shard. When you roll a double in combat, you may roll a second time, applying both results. That is powerful. That is powerful.
So who has the lucky roll?
Well,
I'd love that apple.
You'd love the apple. Well, you can have the apple. Yeah, I mean, we've both got the same amount of doubles, so technically speaking,
right.
It doesn't matter who has it. So, which would you like, Oni? Elixir? Okay, I will take the Fury Shard. I mean, technically, we don't actually have to have 1 each, strictly speaking, but it does make it fairer, I suppose, to a certain extent. Right. Well, I suppose, as the newest player, Oni, would you like to do the honours of drawing the first chapter card? And again, like before, there you go. You're an old hand at Tabletop Simulator. It's a devilishly awkward one. But still. Tripwires
your boot
again.
Catches a tripwire, releasing a shower of acid from above. All players must try to roll cunning in 1 attempt.
So,
Player attempts to dodge it, and failure card an item.
Remember when you said everybody should have low cunning? Yeah. The first card says no to that, but we all fail. That is amazing. We all fail. Although having said that, when you roll a double in combat, only combat, that's fine. So yeah, we... Oh, fuck. We've just lost all our items. Cool.
Right. Well, I was going to eat the apple anyway.
That's fair. In fairness, actually, I think you can eat the apple immediately, so...
I don't know.
Oh, can I?
Well, no, I suppose...
I actually discard it before I round up combat, so I assume I can't use it.
Yeah, I think... Well, yeah, your potion and my fury shard just go.
I didn't want a potion anyway.
It doesn't matter, actually. I've just realised. If you discard the apple as part of the acid splash, then you don't lose HP. If you discard the apple by eating it, the acid would lose 1 HP. So no matter what you do, you're losing the apple and losing the HP.
Block the acid with an apple.
Yes, indeed. Look, I can block everything with my apples. Right. Well, Mr. Blueboosh, would you like to draw a card and experience its inevitable demise?
Yes. Oh, it's a new one. Okay. Drunken guard stops and demands to know your business. Well, my business is smithing. There you go. He's unsteady on his feet, and his breath is unpleasant. As a group, choose one option. You can bribe him or misdirect him.
We have no items, so that's fine. Wisdom. I fear wisdom is possibly the domain of Mr. Onibushu, so are we happy with Onibushu rolling wisdom for this? Or hoping to roll wisdom, I suppose, is the key thing?
Yeah, the worst part is you'll lose a hit point.
So
if your riddle's not riddly enough.
Not quite. Cunning. So the guard tries to detain you, you struggle free and escape, but all players lose 1 HP during the scuffle.
Oh, we all lose.
Yes, of course we all lose. The game hates you. Remember this. Remember these golden words. This game hates you and everything you've ever stood for. The only way forward is down a dizzying set of spiral stairs which look ready to collapse. Gingerly at first, you begin the long descent into darkness. Each player must try to roll a double in one attempt for each player. Success, you go down the lower levels. Failure, the stair crumbles underfoot. No, we have all failed. Excellent. So, lose 1 HP and try again. Excellent.
Try again?
Yep.
How many times?
Up to 3. After 3 failed attempts, we've basically just landed at the bottom of the stairs. Okay, Mr. Blueboosh, you are safe. You have made it down the stairs. Unfortunately, me and Oni have lost 1 more HP and have to do 1 more attempt.
Oh, keep it quiet.
Excellent. I've managed to make it down the last steps. And so have you. Spectacular news. Right, we've finally managed to get down there.
Just a little bit of falling.
Yes, just a touch. Oni, would you like to draw a new chapter card for us again?
Really?
Oh no, him again.
You interrupt a beast demon, devouring a fresh kill. He raises his head, his gore-smeared mouth, then charges.
Okay, so that's specifically you this time. You need to roll might, which is not too bad, or a double.
Might or a double.
Let's hope for the best. That is not might, nor is it a double. I'm afraid you lose 2 HP. And then we begin combat with fist, eye, and this time 3 mystery dice. So we've got a butthole, we've got another fist, and another eye. So I do wonder... Yeah, it might, at least this round, it might be best if we put our best foot forward and go for it. But we might have to start considering resting in places.
Yeah, I think we're just going to...
I'll just double check the resting rule.
There's a double fist.
I got an eye.
Excellent. Double fist and eye. And now I will have a go, see if, hopefully, I mean, there's no way of, I can, yeah, I was going to say, I can do 1 of the 2, but I was never going to be able to do both. Oh, hello. The eye came back.
Well, there was 2 eyes. I dragged 1 over.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Already.
I think that's fine. Right.
An eye?
Oh, did you roll an eye there?
Yeah, I just rolled an eye. So how many were we
so
supposed to
after you're
start with?
about
We
to
were
roll.
supposed to start 5. We did 4 damage. So yeah, 1 left is the correct situation.
I thought you hadn't rolled yet.
Unfortunately, at this point, he does do 2 damage to us, and I don't think. Oh no, Oni, you did shield, so you don't take damage. But me and Blue Bush, we take the damage, and I think again our odds are stacked in. Well, yeah, I think the odds are stacked in favour of us just all rolling, perhaps. But and yes, excellent. And now we draw 1 item.
Weird split beard.
Oh, what's happened?
His beard's.
Oh, the weird beard. Mr. Weird Beard. Ah, we've got the effervescent evasion once more, so I'm thinking, yeah, probably me or Oni should perhaps grab that. So, Oni, would you like the effervescent evasion to try and hopefully survive? And then, I believe, Mr. Blue Bush, if you would like to draw a card and, well, hope you don't kill us, I suppose. Oh, no, not the blades again. I promise, I did shuffle these again.
It's a long series of knives and forks swing from the ceiling of this narrow passageway. You study the pattern of their movement and prepare to dash through to the other side. In unison, all players roll a character dice along with 1 chapter dice 3 times. Don't make the match.
Okay.
Okay.
So only if you would like to grab a chapter die alongside of your character die, and we, I mean, unison as best we can, I suppose. Roll them off. Oi, I'm safe. You're safe because of the double, and you're safe. Excellent. That's our first one. We go again for the next blade. Oi, so close. You doubled again, so you trumped it. You and both me and safe one more time. God damn it. Damn it. So you're safe because double trumps. You're safe because double trumps. Oh, no, you've not rolled. Fair enough. You're still safe, double trumps. So it is just me on the last blade. I just couldn't quite do it. So I lose 2 health. And then I might as well continue the sort of rotation. Oh dear, this man looks nasty. You sense something strange in this chamber. There is a sudden drop in temperature and the air grows still. Then you see it. As a group, choose one option. Flee. The spectre steals part of your soul and you lose 2 HP. Excellent. Okay. Any might that I roll... Okay, it would have 4 health.
Well, I mean, you're not rolling might anyways.
I'm tempted to just take the 2 HP. And
you are pretty low, though.
Well, I'm thinking I might just sit out a couple of rounds of combat in the future and rest. Because I feel like we might end up taking a lot more HP damage between us. So I think, yeah, I'm gonna sacrifice my soul for the good of the group and hope for the best in the future. So own it. Oh, we should probably put our chapter dice back. Doesn't make that much difference. Just, I don't know, overly neat, I suppose.
Never. That looked fun. A skeletal form lies slumped in the corner of the king. Beneath the dust of ages, it still clutches a moldering mess. As a group, move on, something isn't right, or steal the map.
Okay,
2
so...
wisdom and 3 attack.
I mean...
2 item cards.
The abbot is not terrible at wisdom, so getting 2 wisdom is not outrageous.
Yeah.
In 3 attempts, that seems doable. But it's all on your rolls only, I think, because you are the highest wisdom person.
Yeah.
So
do we risk it?
I'm thinking maybe, because we do need some items. We are item starved. That acid bath at the beginning really did a number on us. So I am sort of thinking...
Special.
I'm thinking maybe if you go for sort of hopefully wisdom. So there's the first. That's 2 wisdom already, isn't it? 2 wisdom? Yeah, 2 wisdom is what we wanted. Excellent. So how many items? 2 items. Marvellous. So 1 and 2 items. Okay, so the apple. I'm gonna eat the apple immediately. I think is tactically viable. And then the elixir of insight is the one we lost earlier. So who between you two, as I ate the apple, which of you two feel? Okay, so Mr. Blue Bush, would you like an elixir of insight?
Sure. before any round of combat to change any one chapter dice to show. Oh, right, yeah, that's the one.
Right. I believe, essentially, again, there's no actual turn system, but again, it feels fairer to go round each time until towards the end. But it is Blue Bush's turn to draw. Our destiny awaits. Oh, no.
Oh,
again, I promise, I
again.
shuffled the deck. There should have been about 38 alternative options.
Again, I'm yet again forced to push aside thick thorn-covered vines, which spring to life, surprisingly, because the dungeon hates us. Binding my wrists and hauling me into the thicket. Lose HP because of thickets.
But
and then
we do get the benefits.
2 item cards.
Okay, one more partially destroyed apple. How was everybody else's health? I think
better than yours.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna vote eating my apple immediately again. And I suppose arguably should I take the luck as well, just to spread out the items? And now I'm slightly more pumped full of health. Let's see how much health I can lose on this card. You stumble upon an enticing store of castle supplies. As you approach, the portcullis begins to lower. You must act quickly. Nominate one player to try and prevent it closing, and another to try and dash through to retrieve items. The player holding open the portcullis must try to roll a might in one attempt. Success, it's working. The other player must now roll cunning in one attempt, drawing an item card if they are successful. 2 on a double cunning. If they fail, they find nothing of value. Failure, the portcullis is too heavy. The nominated players both lose 1 HP as it slams to the ground. Well, do you want to have a go? I'm thinking Mr. Blue Bush is the strongest of us, and the tailor, me, is the most cunning of us. So let us see if the might of the smith is enough. It is working. Okay, so that bit's working, and now I just have to hope for cunning or double cunning, ideally.
Double cunning.
Double cunning! Excellent.
Nice.
2 item cards for us. 2 liquid lucks. Would you like to share the liquid lucks between you, as I already have one?
Sure.
For being item-starved mere moments ago, we've suddenly got a large volume of items. And I guess we might as well go back to Mr. Oni. Let us see. Oh, this one again. Darn it all. Nice. So I suppose maybe I should have just removed the ones we'd already done, actually. That might have been a better system.
There's a deafening roar, and the passageway begins to shut. A section of the old wall beside you collapses. You are buried beneath chunks of heavy stone. You are incapacitated.
Well, I think
we need 3 might.
Yes. Oh god, yeah, because 3 players, of course.
But the other.
The other players. Okay, so it is both of us anyway. Excellent.
Yes.
3 might.
Well, I've managed to do 1 might, so we're after 2 more. But I think.
Yeah, so I get 1.
Yeah, you lose 1 HP after that attempt. So let's hope for... Come on! No. 2 more! Excellent. That's the 3 might. Marvellous.
Alright. I'm set.
Was there a secondary effect? Nope, just that. Superb. Okay. That's not so bad. Mr. Blue Bush, our next fate lies in your hands.
Oh dear. As you pass a heavy wooden door, it flies open, and the neighbour bursts through. He wields his shackles as a weapon, and his grey stare sends a clear message. You stand between him and his freedom. Well, you could join us. You must try to roll might or a double in 1 attempt to success. You manage to deflect the wild flailings and then begin combat.
Yeah.
All right, so it's me and might.
Yes, luckily you are the mightiest. Hey, might or a double. You successfully deflect his flailing. So we want a fist, a ball, and 3 mysteries. Oh, there we go. So we have a butthole, 2 buttholes in fact, 2 eyes, 2 buttholes, and a fist. And I think, again, we're roughly at the same level of health, so I think it's probably best to go all in and hope for the best. Darn. Well, there's an eyeball gone. No, that's... Oh, no. So we've done an eye... two buttholes. Excellent. And a fist. So Oni, you're shielded from his 2 damage. Unfortunately, me and Blue Boosh, not quite so much. So at this point, yeah, we might as well go all in and hope for the best we can wipe that one eye out. Oh, yes we can, because I did. Hey. I thought you were going to do your double shield as well. Excellent. We've dealt with him. He's an enemy, so let's find out the item. The Decayed Blade. Once per round of combat, when you roll Wisdom, you may roll again and choose which of the 2 results to apply. So at this point, I would possibly suggest... Yeah. So I'd say we should shuffle some potions. And yeah, that probably is the best way around. Excellent. And now that was... yes, that was you, Mr. Blue Boosh, so I might as well have another crack. Although I might regret that decision. I've just realised how low my health was. But still, this passage takes you past dark, unlocked cells. From inside, the sound of bony hands clutching steel is unmistakable. As a group, choose one option, then begin combat. Charge them, they'll have 3 health, but 2 damage. Lure them out, they will have 5 health, but only 1 damage. So do we think all in to try and trash them with mystery health, or lure them out?
Lure them out.
Lure them out?
I don't know. We've got liquid luck, so we'll probably reroll them.
Yes, that's true. We've all got liquid luck. So do we feel maybe charging them and using our liquid luck if need be?
Yeah.
Okay then. Sure. Three mysteries.
Let us see. It is 1 of each. So with a bit of luck, we will roll our specialty and therefore dispense swift justice. Unfortunately, we've managed to do fist and what's that?
Wait,
I
was going to say, at this point,
maybe I could.
Yeah, if Mr. Blue Boosh, you wanted to liquid luck it, maybe. And that's true, but that is your second specialty. But then you would lose your shield. I'd be careful losing your shield. Oh, plus... Oh, no, yeah. Yeah, no, you would lose your shield, so... It is your secondary specialist, so... Hey! Excellent.
There you go.
Perfect job.
How lucky.
Now, you can have an elixir of insight. You've already got an elixir of insight, don't you? So...
I've already got one.
I'll tell you what. If you have another liquid luck, and I'll take an elixir of insight, that keeps them in the party. That's the key thing. So yeah, I think it is Oni's turn, and your health bar suggests you might be able to take anything nasty. Oh dear, you might have to.
It's a screaming guy on here. You hear a scream from behind, then turn around too late to avoid the clutches of a lurching ghoul. Group, choose one option. Flee, you lose 2 HP, fight, begin combat. You're struck with any wisdom you roll. Well, that sounds...
Oh, yes. No, that's bad. Yeah, that's probably a wise decision. Take the 2 and off we go. So, Mr. Blue Boosh, would you like to find out our next destiny? We're getting close, but we are in no state to really do anything else later.
Everyone here is so friendly. Here sits a man sits at the table, his face shrouded in shadow. As you edge past, he lurches, everyone lurches as well, forward and pulls you close with a snarl, revealing his scarred face and rancid intentions. As a group, flee. You struggle free to get away, but not before you lose 3 hit points. At the hands of the putrid captain. Fight the putrid captain. It's quite tough, this guy.
Yeah, I mean, either way, we were a little bit buggered.
3...
I don't know, 3 HP versus the potential for most likely 4 HP, but then we might get shields.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to luck luck of the dice, I think. Although I've got an effervescent potion to protect me a little bit. We do have some items, so do we feel maybe fighting might trouble us slightly less?
Well, yeah, that'll put me down to 4, and
Yeah,
that's
my
way below.
it's my thoughts. So we're thinking fight.
It's a tricky
I'm
one.
thinking maybe fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's,
3 randoms.
Oh dear, this is
That's a
heavy.
lot of
I was going to
buttholes.
say we're heavily reliant on you, Oni. You need to roll as many buttholes as you can possibly roll.
there's one.
I got a fist.
You got a fist. I got a fist.
Do you want me to do luck?
Might be
I'm
worthwhile.
likely to get
Yeah.
this again.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I rolled 1 wisdom. I can roll
Okay.
again.
So I think we can confirm mine's going to be fist. Okay, so I was going to say yours is probably best to stick where it was with the cunning, and then we've got probably roll it again, unless it looks different on your side, but it looks to have just not rolled properly.
It's totally...
Yeah, it's gotten stuck at an angle. So I suppose just have a re-roll and see. Hey, okay, so A, you're shielded, and B, you've done 2 buttholes, which is marvellous news. So I take 2 damage because I don't have any choice. Oni, I don't think has... Oh, actually, I'll pop my effervescent potion. So I don't take that damage after all. And now let's hope for... I imagine an eyeball is going to be fairly easy. Excellent.
Now I rolled the.
Yeah, you rolled the best roll. Right, so I will take the next chapter card.
Item.
Oh, yes,
Get an item.
sorry, hang on. Yes. We just beat him, so we get an item. An effervescent potion. So who's the
You
lowest?
should take it.
Me and Oni are probably about the same, and you've already got 2, so I might as well grab it again. Okay, so you pass through a chamber which serves as a cesspit below the castle privies. As you pick your way through the filth, something unusual catches your eye. Draw an item
No, it
card.
doesn't.
So someone flushed a partially rotten apple down the toilet. Would someone like to eat a toilet-found partially rotten apple?
No.
No, well, you're okay. It's really either me or Oni who have to sort of... Now, I've got the effervescent evasion, so I'm thinking maybe
That's true, yeah.
maybe Oni, you might need to eat the toilet apple.
All right.
There we go.
Brown apple.
And now we have come to the final boss. So what is our final boss going to do, and how brutal is it going to be? Very is the spoiler alert, but
The
still.
Master of Dark. Ball in a jar. I may be blind, but I see more than you know. Each round after normal damage from Master of Darkness has been resolved, the gargoyle attack. Well, 1 chapter dice
Wow.
trade is rolled currently showing any.
That is...
1 HP.
Yeah, we're going to have to make sure we keep our dice available.
And the gargoyle cannot be blocked.
Yes. Okay, so we need a fist, 2 eyes, a butthole, and then 3 randoms. So 2 more buttholes, another eye. So not a lot of fist, but a lot of buttholes and a lot of everything else.
Here.
I might wait until later for that elixir of insight.
Yeah, I'm looking at it as well.
So I think round 1 of combat. So
Aye.
I was going to say, you've managed to get rid of a fist, and I think we've managed to get rid of 2 eyes, because I don't think we can do anything else with those at the moment. And now I suppose the gargoyle attacks. Yeah.
Roll 1 chapter dice.
Oh no, after normal damage from the Master of Darkness. Okay, so 3 damage from the Master of Darkness. I'm going to pop the potion now, because it doesn't make too much difference, I don't think. You're shielded, so only Mr. Blue Boosh. And now the gargoyle, we shall see. Eyeballs. So both me and Blue Boosh minus 1 HP.
I'm on 3.
I am on 4. Now, let's have a think. Oh, no, Oni's gone straight in. Straight in. Shall we go for it? Yeah, I've got enough health to tank 1 more hit.
I can't.
Okay, so if you rest...
Yet, so
I was going to say, if you rest, you'll be able to get 1 HP back, which will allow you to potentially go next turn.
Alright, do I take one butthole
Rest.
or do I use liquid luck to roll again?
Oh,
I could get 2, but
you could.
It, worth.
It could be worthwhile to possibly go with the idea of getting your shield as well is the key thing. Nope. Okay, so
Well, it's still just
I was gonna say I think I haven't removed my butthole yet either. So we've only got 2 left, but unfortunately I take 3 damage, which unfortunately puts me down at 1 now. And I think it's one of those ones where
people?
I don't think it's going to be worthwhile resting.
No, but I did rest. But do I get hit if I
rest? No! You do not get hit by resting. So you are safe. I'm not going to be able to rest out of this. Well, actually, no, I suppose. Okay, this round, I'm thinking maybe it'd be worthwhile.
Oh, we got a gargoyle.
Oh, fuck, yeah. Okay, that might kill me. It has killed me. Balls.
Come on, gargoyle.
The little gargoyle came at me and beat me. I tell you what, traditionally, you don't do this, but do you two want to have one last attack on it, see if you can wipe out its bits and pieces? And then what I'm going to try and do is find out where the official sort of... one eyeball, so Mr. LaBouche.
I would use my insight. Really. Discard and change it to... How can I change this to a dice? Do I press a number on it?
Yes. What are you changing it to?
I want the star buttonhole.
Oh, I think, unless I've misread it. Yes, what you needed to do with the Elixir of Insight is change the chapter dice to a symbol.
I'll change the chapter dice to a fist. Okay, I would have done.
Oh, there we go. 1 is fist. So,
which then?
Yes. So you two have managed to go on to freedom-ish, but the official count is the Master of Darkness. It was the Master of Darkness, wasn't it? Yes. So the official ending, for me at least, is as the Master of Darkness pulls his punch blade from your liver and kicks your lifeless body to the floor, his plan for your remains is already in motion. While he goes about cutting down your fellow prisoners with practiced ease, his foul gargoyle goes to work plucking out your eyeballs, compelled only by the power of its master's mind. After the master has consumed them, the skulls of you and your band are cracked open like hard-boiled eggs, your brains eaten fresh before they cool. Only in this way will your sight, your experiences, your memories seep into his own hungry consciousness. Everything you have ever seen, everything you know about the castle and its outlying lands are fused with his own mental map, ready to be drawn up whenever his mind takes flight, fleeing his mortal frame to soar through the castle passages as a winged shadow in his quest to become all-seeing, all-hearing, all-knowing. Your adventure ends here. So
yeah, we all meant to have died there, really.
Yeah, we technically all lost. The moment my life drained to its inevitable 0, we all officially lose. But sometimes, considering it was the final boss, it was worthwhile just having a last pop with the dice. But there you go.
Yeah, well, I would have watched you die.
Win that.
Bun?
And I would have watched you die and had a fun day trip out with the abbot.
Oh, I see. Yeah, once you escaped the Dark Castle. But yeah, at some point, they're not queens. Oh, I've just tanked your computers, I'm afraid. Sorry. I should have warned you. Because I got put some loading in. So I may have screwed up your... Oh, I think I've done it again. I'm sorry. I keep looking at things. I'm sorry. But yeah, it keeps tanking everything because of the fact that I'm loading in extra bits and pieces. But there are some bonus adventure packs as well available. But I think for now, it's been about 3 hours, so I think that's probably time to call it, and allow others to. I believe you had Sports Ball. I'm not entirely sure when that is because I never can quite remember the exact timing. I think you've got. You've got several hours before your Sports Ball, do you not?
Yeah, 2.5.
Yeah. And Mr. Blue Boosh, I imagine you might want to have some dinner in the not too distant future, as do I, in fairness.
Yeah. I do need to eat dinner.
Yeah. That was a very pleasant Sunday afternoon at home. I very much enjoyed that.
You.
So I will not only quit out of the game, but I will eventually leave the Discord chat and say cheerio. I'll say cheerio to you both now, and then cheerio to you again probably on the stream. So cheerio.
Cheerio. Bye.
And there we go. We are out of that and out of that, and then theoretically, if I go like that, I think that works. Not that it makes any difference at the moment because I was just moving the people chat. And yes, I have called it people chat, I fear. Oh dear, my internet connection is dying on its arse, probably because I closed the game, I suppose. Are you trying to do things? Are you doing things? Are you trying to do things? No, you don't seem to be trying to do things. A boop! But yeah, something is definitely now running in a way I didn't want it to run. Are you going to recover? Or are we sort of perma-buggered? I don't know. But I suppose arguably I ought to be pleased that we got through most of it before it decided to completely tank itself. That's something. Not a lot, but it is something. Let's have a butcher's here. We've got a couple of people. Let's at least have a look. Although I haven't said that. Oh, it's a purpley heart. That is incredibly loud after all. Oh, I know why it's incredibly loud, because I've actually turned the speakers up for the sake of the Discord call. Or the, not speakers technically, but still. Yeah, I think this is really, it's not having a fun time. I don't know. I'm not sure why it's struggling quite so much. I suppose we could go there again. That's not an outrageous decision. Yeah, go on. We'll try. Although, again, you may not be hearing much of this owing to the hole. Owing to the hole. Yes. Can you hear me? Because there may be a hole. There we go. Okay, there we go. It's now running an advert, which means it's really not liking it. Blarg. How very annoying indeed. Well, I suppose we'll try our best to get through to the end. We'll go to the interim slideshow and do a little... so the voice you heard alongside of Mr. Onibushu, the other voice was Mr. Blue Boosh, and he does streaming as well. And so if you fancied, it's going to be very difficult to do this, I think, but still, if you fancied, there are Mr. Blue Boosh's details, and there should be a clip, but I think it's going to have a hard time.
My mouse.
And there is where we were playing the Arctic Phone. The first one was my mouse, which I ruined the mouse for us all, and then CPP managed to ruin it even more. I know it's terrible. I don't know precisely what's interfering at this point, unless it's just. It feels like what's happened is it's gone. I'm struggling doing Tabletop Simulator and Discord and the stream. I'm struggling, but I'm going to keep it together. And then the moment I stopped all of those things, it just like let go. It went, no, I'm done. I am done. Which is very peculiar and very strange. But I think we might have hit a slight balance point now. So I'm assuming it was something interfering, but it didn't obviously declare itself. It might have been Steam doing Steam things, which is not outrageous. I don't necessarily mind Steam doing Steam things, but I do like it when it's obvious, you know? I do like it when Steam declares that it's doing Steam things, because if Steam starts doing things and doesn't declare that it's doing things, we've got problems. And he was in the chat earlier on, And I believe, yes, it is. Oh, that's a shame. I don't have the... I found another. I don't know how to change that. I don't remember ever changing that in the first place. But I no longer have the day of the week written on the bottom of my taskbar. I'll have to have a look into that and see if I can find that now as well. But see, it's all these little things. It's all these little things where you just take them for granted and now suddenly they're all changed and gone and annoying. But anyway, tonight, because it is Sunday afternoon at home, I should really know that because it's Sunday afternoon at home. But tonight, you have, at 9 o'clock, you have Mr. Can't Sleep Must Paint. And I might be able to tell you what he's painting. Depending on how... no, I can't.
Terrible.
That's fine.
Oh, it's come.
Oh, okay. That was quicker than I thought it was going to be. I don't know precisely what happened. I missed it. So we'll do another one. 8,369, getting close to a gem spending spree. I went on a gem spending spree. That was the only thing I actually enjoyed one of the previous occasions.
Headless Captain
That I
America.
could build a new
No,
game.
Captain America, sort of 6'5", Hercules 7 foot. So he's nice and chunky. I'd say that's about perfect. I'm really pleased with that.
I do look forward to seeing that new Hercules, because that would be quite interesting. I believe he's finished his Odin, so I'm as far as I can tell, it is going to be something new. I'm just not entirely sure what that something new is. So, and he's not done his usual, unless I skipped past it. No, that is not advertising today. There's a slight echo there. I think that's one of those ones where sometimes there's going to be and sometimes there won't be. It's possibly because of all the lag we experience that's kicked in a little bit more echo. But it's the same. It's basically the same principle set up as last time, which is I can hear it and you can hear it. The issue with the I can hear it, you can hear it, is I can only hear it through the desktop and you get to hear the desktop a second time. So it's also probably because it's slightly louder because I've got the interim music set up on here. So it's possibly more noticeable. I don't know. I don't know of an alternate way of doing that. So, yeah. There might just have to be a bit of echo. But hopefully it's not too bad. I'm never going to remember. But I could possibly check it out and see quite how bad it is, and whether it's sort of one of those problems that gets put on the fuck it train, rather than one of the problems that gets put on the sort of expressway to Solutionsville. I can't deny the express train to Solutionsville is empty. The slow train to fuck it is very much a full train. There's a lot of things on the fuck it train, but you know, because most of the time you want to fuck it instead of figuring out solutions, and I'm very much on the fuck it, let's not bother with the solution side of things. Anyway, I'll tell you, I mean, this might be a regrettable decision, I don't know, but it's just sprang up as a notion. But we're going to raid into Emily Falkreath once again. We did so on a previous occasion, but they're playing Forest again. But here's a clip. I get the impression the point might be it's loud. Nope. Okay, the point was not. It was not meant to be that loud. I'm assuming there was an issue in the system somewhere. But that was very loud. That was very loud for me, let alone for her. Anyway, did I actually do the thing? Right. So yeah, because I've actually got an outro for Sunday afternoon at home. I stopped doing them a while back, so there's only like 2 in existence. I think Warframe Wednesdays had an outro, and Sunday afternoon at home had an outro. So what we'll do is I will do the out. I'll say cheerio, then I'll do the outro, and then I'll get the raid set up. Yeah, that sounds. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Something like that. It's going to happen in some fashion. Fuck it. We'll figure it out. Shall we? I think I do need the username on the clipboard though. So let's sort that out. Right. Cheerio. I'll probably be back Wednesday for the standard hodgepodge of hilarity. Unless something else goes horribly, tragically wrong in the interim. Let's hope not. So I will say cheerio.
Well, it's the last day I ever spend like it, I'll tell you.
We gotta get organised.
Definitely, we can't go on like this, frittering away our lives like we've done today. We've got to do something constructive. Time is valuable.
I agree.
So do I.
We only live once.
Of course we do.
There's a million things we could do.
Certainly there are. There's things like
Yes,
this.
like
Well, sure, we could.
I'll see you next Sunday then.
Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah.
Cheerio. Good health.